At AmazingWorks, we manage tens of thousands of dollars of Amazon PPC spend for all of our clients and drive 7 figures plus in revenue. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly step by step how we run our campaigns so you can follow along and apply it to your own brand. So just for some context, here are a bunch of results we had applying the same exact strategies I'm gonna go over with you in this video across countless different accounts in different industries, different categories, different margins, so that you can go and apply to your own brand at home. So this will be quite a long video, so let me walk you through exactly what we will go over in this. And the stuff I go over in this video is applicable to any brand who's selling on Amazon. Whether they did a product launch, they already spend tens of thousands of dollars every single month, even 50,000 plus. It's all stuff that they can apply and optimize further. So the first thing we're gonna go over is the best Amazon and PPC product launch guide. So I'm gonna show you exactly how to do in-depth keyword research about your product and its market to identify the top keywords that we need to start running ads for. I will then go over exactly how we set up exact match, phrase match, broad match campaigns for all of these keywords with the intense goal of ranking on page 1 for them. Now, manual campaigns are one thing. I'll also go over exactly how we set up all of our auto campaigns for our clients that bring in profitable growth. I will also give you 2 bonus campaigns that we run that most people don't, including a catch-all campaign. Now, setting up the campaigns is one thing. The next thing is optimizing continuously and scaling. So I'm gonna go over a few things with you. The first thing I'm gonna go over is exactly what you should do if your campaigns are not performing as well as you expected. So it'll go over exactly how you can optimize your bids regarding your actual ACOS levels, TACOS levels, whatever is okay with you, and in what stage of growth you actually are. I will then go over our rescue framework, which pretty much goes over exactly how you can fix a dead campaign within 7 days. This is a framework we follow across all of our brands whenever we see a campaign is not performing as well as expected. And then lastly, I'm gonna go over a bunch of Amazon PPC mistakes that people always make, whether they're spending $100 or $10,000, that always causes them to lose money. At the end of the month, like, I just wasted all this money on Amazon ads, where did it go? So I'll go over a bunch of mistakes for you to make sure that you don't make those same exact mistakes. Now this video will be long, so I put below a bunch of timestamps for whatever specific stage of Amazon you are right now. And lastly, if you want to work with me and our company, hit the link down below to see if you apply. We typically only work with brands doing above 30K a month minimum. So see how our system works, see if it makes sense for you, and then we'll talk soon. And now let's run up all of these Amazon PPC campaigns. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly the step-by-step process we use to launch products on Amazon with PPC. And I'll show you everything. I'm gonna show you how to do proper keyword research, first of all, how to figure out all the keywords relevant for our product before we even launch our product. Secondly, I want how to structure your campaigns from day one, which campaigns to set up, which match types and everything, what bids and budgets to set. This is very, very important. Do we go aggressive? Do we not go aggressive out the bat? How to optimize them during the crucial honeymoon launch phase, which is very, very important as we want to maximize this. And lastly, how to keep momentum going to successfully launch a new product. Also, if you want access to the document I'm gonna go over in this video, it should be one of the links in the bio where you can just download it right away. So before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to first go over what your launch mindset should be for your PPC campaigns. As a lot of people get this wrong, I did it when I first started out, but this is very, very important. The entire point of the entire launch is we're not trying to get profitability right away. We want data plus ranking plus honeymoon success. We need sales, okay? We need sales. We don't have to be stingy regarding profit margins and everything, as if you go that route, you're not going to grow at all and you're going to waste this entire phase and you're going to it's going to be a horrible product launch. So we do not want this. The entire goal of the launch is get as many sales as fast as possible out the door, because this is how Amazon tracks our product and sees that we're getting a lot of sales velocity, and we start getting more and more organic ranking, and ideally we're getting our product up to page 1 for all of our relevant keywords. Now, if you focus on profit during launch, you're going to be screwed because first of all, you're not going to have as much reviews compared to your competitors, so naturally your conversion rate is going to be lower, okay? Now your pricing might be the same as them also, so why would they choose your product over theirs? That doesn't make sense from a basic consumer standpoint, okay? That's why we need a lower price, because we want to improve our conversion rate. We want to get more clicks and we need to get more sales out the door, okay? You need sales to make sales on Amazon. As unserious as that sounds, that is just the goal. We need sales to make sales because more sales gets us higher organic rankings, okay? So you must be comfortable with break even or no profit for at least the first 2 months, okay? Amazon is super competitive nowadays. We have to really lock this in. It's a mindset thing. And once we get this through the door, then we won't be super uncomfortable when spend is going up or ACOS is sort of up. We have to first understand this. So what you also must know is what is your break-even ACOS versus your target ACOS before launch, okay? So what do I mean by break-even ACOS? This is the ACOS level that where we get enough sales that we're just at break-even, okay? After every fee, Amazon fees, cost of goods, PPC, we're break-even. We're not losing money and we're not making money. And ideally, this is pretty good during the launch phase if it goes successfully. Obviously, we want to be profitable, but even if you're at this stage, it's pretty good, okay? Now, your target ACOS is what you want to be in order to like get your maximum profitability. Once your product's actually live, you have good ranking, and you just focus on profitability. Okay, so we know our break-even ACOS. Now we should know our target ACOS. Okay, so for example, break-even ACOS might be 35%. Okay, and our target ACOS is we want to go to 20% because that's where we maximize profitability. Maybe we have a 30% profit margin after all of that. But we must understand this because this is how we're going to use to track our actual PPC results through our campaigns and everything. Okay, another mindset shift. ACOS is not the only thing we're trying to look at, okay? ACOS does not equal profit. It is just a metric shown of exactly how that campaign was performing as a whole based on the numbers. But what it does not take into account is the number of organic sales. So that's why we must also analyze TACOS, okay? If you don't know what that means, that is our total advertising cost of sale. It shows the real picture because it shows our organic sales plus our paid combined, okay? Now, why is this very, very important? Ideally, your TACOS should naturally go down once you get more and more sales because we're starting to rank higher and higher and higher for our certain keywords, and we're getting a lot of more organic sales. When someone's searching for our product, they find our product naturally on the first page and they buy our product, and we didn't have to pay a single dime for it. So that's very, very important. Another thing is a high ACOS can be strategic during the launch phase as it fuels ranking and review velocity. So do not be super scared of having an ACOS of 50%, 60%. If your sales are going good, that is actually a really, really good thing because we know our product has validity. We can just, over time, we naturally bring that down lower as we improve our conversion rate, click-through rate, get more reviews, and then optimize our campaigns further. But do not get super fixated on that metric. You only want to get super fixated on a high ACOS if you aren't getting enough sales from that, or you're not getting enough organic ranking from that. So that's an issue on your actual conversion rate, on your listing, your actual product itself, or on the campaigns you're targeting, keywords, so on and so forth. Okay, another very, very important thing. Do not run aggressive campaigns unless you have at least 5 reviews bare minimum. Okay, this is very, very important. If you don't have reviews on Amazon, you're probably gonna have a really, really low conversion rate unless your product is super unique in the market, which most people are not gonna have that, right? So we need some sort of validity. And if you run these aggressive campaigns trying to rank on these keywords and people just are clicking your listing but there's no reviews, nothing, we're wasting money and it's signaling to Amazon that people go to our product but they don't actually convert on it, which means something's wrong with our listing. So do not run aggressive campaigns unless you have 5 reviews. If you don't know how to get reviews, there's a bunch of strategies out there. I'll probably link a video somewhere above here. But this is very important because you're going to be wasting money if you do this. Another very important thing is auto and broad campaigns are your best friends during this launch phase, okay? And it's crucial that we start running these, okay? So if you don't know why, auto campaigns are pretty much our keyword discovery machine. They're always going to find new opportunities for us in the market that we didn't initially find through our market research, which I'm going to go over with you in this video. So it's very, very important. It also helps us showcase products we convert well for or don't convert well for. It is pretty much our testing. It is our A/B testing of our entire product, our campaign, the market. So you must run a lot of auto campaigns because we need a lot of data in the beginning. We have no data to go off of. You might think you convert well on this keyword, but unless you actually start running it, you have no idea. So auto campaigns automatically do this for us, okay? Broad, same sort of strategy. Long tail ranking opportunities. So we know these root keywords we're going to go over in this video. These are the root ones, but we really want to put them in broad campaigns because there's so many long tail versions of it that we might convert well for that we didn't initially think. So both feed into exact campaigns later if they convert well. So it's very, very important. And what you must understand is auto and broad campaigns usually are much cheaper, have a lower cost per click than an exact or phrase. So it's also you're saving your budget as long as you know how to properly manage it. So the first thing we're going to go over in this video is the pre-launch research. Before any campaigns, we don't have any keyword data. We don't know what we're going to target. So we must make a list of keywords that we know once our product goes live, we're targeting all these keywords one by one and starting to rank, okay? So I'm going to show you exactly how to do this using a master keyword list and how we're going to compile that. Now, when we make this list, it's going to segment keywords by certain intents. We have primary keywords, secondary keywords, and discovery keywords. All have their main focus. Primary obviously going to be the most important keywords for our product. Secondary is going to be supporting, sort of in the same realm. And discovery is stuff we really want to test out and see if it converts well or not, okay? Now, why does this matter? It ensures we know the most relevant keywords our competitors rank high for. This is very important. If we know our competitors rank really high for this keyword, high chance that we can probably convert well for it as long as our listing is good, okay? So pair target campaigns with discovery campaigns, like I said, the auto and broad campaigns, and that is very, very important. So for this example, I'm going to be using an ergonomic chair, like the one I'm sitting on right now. Now imagine I'm launching a new variation of this in the market and I'm trying to figure out all the relevant keywords for this. So I know right out the gate, we have a successful product launch. So I'm gonna go over exactly how we create a master keyword list for this product. So what we're gonna do is use a third-party software like Helium 10, Jungle Scout, or even Data Drive. I'm gonna use Helium 10 because I'm most comfortable with it. But pretty much like I'm using Helium 10, go to Helium 10 Cerebro. Now this is gonna show us exactly all the most relevant keywords for our product. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go into the actual market for ergonomic chairs. and I'm gonna find 10 of the most similar products like ours, okay? These are literally direct competitors of us. So we know their customers are gonna be our customers for the most part. So I'm gonna handpick and figure out what are the most relevant ones for us. So for example, this is one I think that is super relevant for us, ergonomic chair. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this ASIN here, like this doing 2.1 million, okay? So I'm gonna take that ASIN and I'm literally gonna go here, I'm gonna put this in, and I'm gonna try to find 10 of the most exact closest competitors to us. And once we do that, then we're gonna get all the keywords for this. Cool, so I picked 10 competitors right here. Once we have all these ASINs in here, just hit get keywords, and then it's gonna load all the keywords for us. So finish loading. Now we have all of these keywords here. You see all of these keywords we have here? How many do we have here? We have 12,000 keywords. Now obviously this is way too much. Like we need to filter this down to like hundreds of keywords, okay? Now how do we do this? First of all, just go to search volume. Obviously, for our campaigns, we're all gonna target keywords that have search volume that people are actively searching for. So I would set it to a minimum of 500 over here. Just like, but let's see 500. What does it bring us to now? 500 brings us to 1631. So that's pretty much good right there. The next step is where we can actually go through and filter the data out. But once you have this many keywords, hit search volume, go highest to lowest. Once we're here, I want you to hit export data, export as a CSV file. Okay, then we want to go to a Google Sheet, okay, brand new Google Sheet, hit file here, and we're going to hit open, upload, and then your file should be somewhere right over here. This is the file I just got. Hit it here, and then it's going to showcase all the data here. Now we can go directly in Google Sheets and we can filter out and figure out the most relevant keywords for our product right here. So first thing out the bat, hit this one right here. We want this stuff to stay still. So we're going to hit view and we're going to hit freeze first row. Now we can scroll down peacefully and figure out all the keywords. Now there's too many filters here. So I'm going to actually cut out a bunch to make this as simple as possible. So Cerebral IQ score, we do not need this. We need keyword sales, search volume, all this stuff. You can literally just copy me and we can go for it. We can hit delete all those. CPR we can have, title and C we can have. This we can delete also. Stop up to here, hit delete. So this position rank is actually the first listing that we put in here. So in this example, it was this ASIN over here. So we still want to keep this here. Just change this to competitor. Okay, and then let's just delete all of these until we hit this next ASIN right here. So we'll go there and we'll hit delete. Now we are chilling. Okay, honestly, you know what we can do here? So this ASIN was this one. If I can just copy and paste this one, I'll just put it in here. So here was the first ASIN. I'm just literally just copy it. I'm gonna go back here. I put competitor here. I'm gonna just change it here. Boom. Now we're done. Okay. So we have all the phrases here on the left side. The number of keyword sales to bring in, search volume, CPR. I'll go over what that means. How many are in the actual titles, and these are all the competitors. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, now 10. Now we know exactly which keywords we can target. Next thing, and arguably the most important thing, and the whole point of this is next to title entity. So right before the first ASIN, hit this arrow here, and we're gonna hit insert one column right. We're gonna label this relevancy, okay? This is gonna showcase how relevant this keyword is to these competitors of ours, so we know exactly that we should target these further. So relevancy, now I'm gonna input a formula right here, okay? So copy along, equals count if, okay? Now once that's here, I want you to just literally copy every ASIN up to here, okay? So we went to all the ASINs and we copied it. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna hit comma, space, and then the bracket right there. Now, this is where we set the criteria. So personally, I'm looking for keywords that our competitors are ranked at least in the top 30 spots organically for, because that's the first page of Amazon. If we don't know, if your product's not on the first page for these keywords, no one's gonna see it, okay? So we wanna target keywords that all our competitors are on first page for, because that increases the likelihood that we can also be on the first page of it. And that is typically at least top 30 organic rankings. So I'm gonna put bigger sign, bigger than 30. So all of these competitors are ranked above top 30 organic rank for these keywords. Then I'm gonna hit the sign again, ibuprofen, and then close it with the bracket. So you look at it right there. That's the formula. Then I'm gonna hit enter, and then just literally just hit this autofill. Now we have all of the keywords here. I'm literally gonna color this. Let's color it a specific color. We'll go. See, I messed up there. So we'll literally color it blue. So these are the relevancy. Now we can identify what are the most relevant keywords here. So I'm gonna hit this arrow up here, and we're gonna sort the sheet Z to A, okay? Now we have the most relevant keywords, okay? So for example, this Japanese keyword, we're not gonna use it, right? But it has a relevancy of 9. That means that 9 of the ASINs here are ranked in the top 30 results for this. So 3, 13, 2, 11, 29. So we know that for some reason this is super relevant for us. This is probably like a if I can literally go to Google Translate, I'll be like ergonomic chair or something. Google Translate. So let's put it here. Oops, nope, messed up here. Ergonomic chair. So it's literally a Japanese version of ergonomic chair. And I don't know why people are searching for it in the US or Chinese, sorry. But this keyword is super relevant for us. So honestly, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sort by relevancy how important these keywords are, and I'm gonna color code every single one. So 9, 8, and 7, I'm gonna put as the most important keywords for us. So you can literally go here. It's all sorted like this, and let's give it its own color. Like I said, I'll give it the blue one I already gave before. Now we can go to 6, 5, and 4 maybe, for example. Let's see how many of these go to. 6, 5, 4. Let's see what 4 stops. Because we only want the most relevant keywords. Go there, and let's give it its own color. We'll give it green. Honestly, these other keywords here we can look into, but if it has a relevancy of 3, that means only 3 competitors are ranked high for it. For example, office chair. This is way too broad for us. We're an ergonomic chair. Office chair has so many different products. And if all our competitors aren't ranked well for it, it's probably not a good idea to target this in our campaigns, as we're going to have a really low conversion rate and click-through rate, and we're going to waste a lot of money. So for now, only focus on the most relevant ones, the 9s, 8s, 7s, 6, 5s typically. So next thing, we color coded everything. We know what's the most important ones. Now, next thing, most important, hit search volume up here. Sort sheet Z to A, okay? Now we have the most highest search volume keywords that are most relevant for us. Okay, computer chair, okay? Ergonomic office chair, very important keyword. This is a very important keyword. Look at this one. Search volume is 77,000, okay? And we have a relevancy of 6. 6 of our 10 competitors are ranked in the top 30 for this. So we know there's a good chance for us to rank higher for this. Now, what I'm gonna do for this is exactly, I'm gonna go into this, I'm gonna create a new sheet, and I'm gonna call it keywords, okay? We're literally gonna go here, keywords. And we're gonna filter out all the keywords by how important they are. So I'm literally gonna go here, I'm gonna copy the top because these are the columns that we have. I just wanna make it as structured as possible for us to read. So let's go over there and let's go for these keywords. So ergonomic office chair. Go here, copy, go here, paste, okay? We're gonna do that for a bunch of keywords. So what I want you to do is filter this out exactly how I set it out. So I have primary keywords here, secondary keywords, discovery keywords, okay? So primary keywords, these are the most relevant for us, obviously. Secondary are gonna be important still, but you know, there's more room to wiggle. And discovery is gonna be those keywords we're trying to discover new opportunities for. We wanna filter and segment this properly like this, because once we actually go to make the campaigns, we know exactly how to, like, what is the intent behind each campaign, how much to bid, how many keywords to put. So we know exactly what's the best plan going forward. So what I'm literally gonna do is I'm gonna handpick one by one the keywords to show how important they are. So computer chair, look at that, relevancy of 4. And so like this keyword we might convert well for, but let's see where we can actually put this. It's a primary keyword, but only 4 competitors are ranked 5 for it, but it's also an important keyword. So I'm gonna put it in the primary keywords, okay? Now we just keep going down the list and see what else is there. So these 2 are the most relevant keywords for us. Now let's keep adding more and more keywords. Let's keep going down the list. Let's see what's the next one. We can go here, office chair. See, office chair, relevancy of 4, good search volume. So it's high, but it's less than 50% of our competitors are ranked for this keyword. So to be honest, I'll put this in a secondary keyword because we might not convert well for it, but we can, you know, sort of at least try it out and build campaigns for it. Chairs, that's way too broad. You know, you really have to go through one by one and figure out, okay? Ergonomic chair, I think we already went over this, but this is gonna be our most important keyword, so we know exactly who to target that because we color coded it blue. That was the most important color here. Home office desk chairs, okay? Another one, sort of relevant, but only 4 of our competitors are ranked top 30 for it. I'm gonna put this in the secondary keyword again. So I'm gonna do this for a bunch of keywords. So I'll show you exactly how we can like sort of filter out and make it as fast as possible. So this keyword also sort of relevant for us, but it's the green one. So I'm gonna put it over here. Okay. Now, if I want to find more primary keywords, I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna sort it by relevancy. So sort it by relevancy. Now, obviously we want the ones with the most search volume. Okay. So let's go over one by one. See who, I think this is a brand name, ergonomic chair. I think, did I already put ergonomic chair? I put ergonomic office chair. So that's a variation. That's a phrase match for ergonomic chair, but this is also another one, very important. So let's go to primary keywords, put that keyword right there. So we know how to segment this. Sort of the same thing, ergonomic office chair, lumbar support, okay? Lumbar support office chair. 7 competitors ranked high for it, decent search volume. So why not? Let's go and let's put it here. See, it's a game, it's sort of fun. You just find all these keyword opportunities here that you would have never thought of before. Now, obviously, we want the ones with the highest search volume. So just really look down and see what we can target. See, the next keyword here, ergonomic office chair, that has the highest search volume. And we put it over here. So we know this keyword is going to be super, super important for us to really target, right? But we can keep on going down and figuring out more opportunities. So there's so many keywords here, but we're trying to figure out, like, there's a lot of variations here of different phrases that are sort of the same thing that we're targeting. And we can figure out how to do this through a lot of campaigns. But we're trying to figure out the keywords that are a little bit different from each other. Like office chair, ergonomic lumbar support, we already had one like that. Trait office chair, that might be a brand name. We have to double check that. Best office chair for lower back pain. See, this is a little bit different now, because relevancy of 6, and we know, okay, this is a little bit of a different keyword. Best office chair for lower back pain. I'm gonna go and put that as a primary keyword, because we don't want too many similar keywords. You see all these, they're sort of like branches from each other. We want to find as many like keywords that are a little bit different from each other, but are still relevant for our product. Here's another one, office chair with headrest. Pretty important for us, ranked 6 relevancy, good search volume. Put that there. And I'm just trying to find so many keyword opportunities that are sort of in the same realm, but a little bit different for targeting. Because you have to consider, now each of these keywords are going to have different variations for these specific keywords. Now it's a whole branch, because if you have like 3 different keywords, each one will branch to a different keyword, branch into another one, so on and so forth. And you never know which one will convert well for. Now this keyword will have its own branch, this one will have its own branch. So it's very important to try to figure out as many opportunities, especially in that beginning launch phase, because we're just trying to discover new opportunities that we might convert well for. Okay, cool. I've pretty much finished my master keyword list, and I've extracted most of the keywords. So I'll go over exactly what it looks like. Yours should look like something very similar to this. So if we go to primary keywords, these are going to be keywords that have the highest relevancy for the most part, 7, 6, 8. You know, this one only has a 4 because of high search volume, so I included in here. You really gonna have to test it out and see, you know, based off of your product, what you know is most relevant for you. So here are the most important keywords based off the search volume and how relevant they are for our product. So we know we're going to target these very specifically in our campaigns, because we want to rank as high as possible because they have such immense search volume, okay? And if our competitors rank high for it, high chance we can also rank high for it, okay? Next one is secondary keywords. So these ones all have relevancy of like 4 or 5. You know, they're still relevant for us, but we really want to test it out. You know, there's good search volume to be had here, but there's keywords like, for example, office chairs, home office desk chairs, mesh office chair with back support, ergonomic gaming chair. So these are also keywords that we can convert well for, but we should really test it out to a next level, okay? So we don't want to be super aggressive on these keywords just yet. Third one is going to be discovery keywords, okay? Have a look here. So these ones I didn't even color code. So the relevancy is 3, for example. But I went over and I read it out, and with the combination of search volume and how relevant the keyword is, I know we can test it out in broad match campaigns. So for example, office chair. Look at the search volume. Look at how relevant it is. If we start running broad match campaigns, it's going to give us so many variations of this keyword that we might convert well for that we wouldn't have if we don't run these campaigns. They might also give us ASINs we convert well for, so we can do a lot of product targeting, okay? Desk chair, same exact thing. Gamer chair, same exact thing. This is sort of a Spanish keyword. I think it's going to come out to what the chair actually is, but another opportunity. Study chair, another opportunities. So these broad campaigns, we're not going to be aggressive at all. These are all going to be testing campaigns. So for give you context, primary keywords, these are going to be aggressive for the whole purpose of ranking and getting as much sales as possible. Secondary keywords are not going to be as aggressive, but we really want to test it out. And if it converts well, then we're going to be more and more aggressive on it and start ranking. Discovery keywords, this is the entire point, is we're trying to do broad match campaigns or auto campaigns on these keywords, so we can get a lot of data and figure out what other opportunities we can convert well for, what ASINs we can convert well for. So it's a combination of all 3, and simultaneously during your launch phase, you should run all 3 at the same time. Now I'm going to show you exactly how we can set up all these campaigns one by one and which structures you should have in place. So here's a good chart of exactly what the core campaign setup should be for that launch week, week 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So here are a bunch of campaigns. Let's go over one by one what the purpose is. So single keyword exact match campaigns. The entire purpose is to rank on these keywords, and it's going to be exact match, okay? And hopefully we're boosting top of search. So if we go back into this list, it's primarily going to be a bunch of these keywords that we know we should start ranking well for based off our competitors, okay? So that's the entire purpose of those campaigns. Now we have product targeting. So I'm going to show you exactly how we can do this, but the point is we're trying to poach traffic from existing listings on Amazon and steal their competitors. So it's competitor ASINs we're targeting and expanded targeting, okay? How do we do this? So if you know your listing is better than a competitor, maybe you have a unique value proposition, you have a better product at all. So what you can do is you can just target these listings, and I'm showing you how you can do it. But you want to make sure when you're doing this, you only target listings that you have higher rating count than, and your product is actually better, and your pricing is competitive. If your pricing is not competitive, you're going to lose out. You're going to be wasting money. So make sure you have all 3 things figured out. Next thing is going to be an auto campaign. So the entire point is discovery and it's low cost per click and it can convert at a high rate. So there's a bunch of things we can go over. I'm gonna show you how you can do it. But the number one thing is we're gonna have to add negatives weekly, which I'm gonna show you how to do. Next thing is self-targeted expanded campaigns. So this, if you have a lot of search volume coming off of Amazon for your product launch, that people already want to buy your product. So it's your own ASIN, you're just targeting over and over again, and it lets Amazon find placements. Next one is broad match, similar to an auto campaign, discovery plus expansion. And we're trying to phrase negatives. So for example, these are discovery keywords. These are going to be broad match campaigns. And then the last one is going to be category targeting. So we're trying to figure out placements in our niche that we convert well for. And Amazon gives us an option to do this. So it's a manual category refined, and you can filter by star and price, which I'm going to show you how to do. So here is my Amazon PPC campaign intentions chart. Before you launch campaigns, you must know what is the purpose of that campaign. So many brands, so many people, you'll be surprised. I go into these campaigns and they have no idea what these campaigns' purpose is for. They're just running at whatever ACOS or whatever goal, and they have no idea in mind. Every campaign should have a specific purpose because there's a lot of components we're trying to maneuver at once on Amazon. So here are a few of them. Ranking and organic boost. We're trying to drive targeted traffic to increase keyword ranking. So this is very important in this beginning stage that I'm going over with you. Scaling sales, same sort of thing. We're trying to expand reach on winning keywords to grow revenue aggressively. So once we identify winners, we're just trying to scale more and more and more. Next thing, defensive brand protection. Protect branded keywords from competitors bidding on your name. So this is very important if you're an established brand on Amazon. We want to protect our brand names and everything. Competitor conquesting, same sort of thing. We're trying to target competitor ASINs or brand terms to steal market share. So that will fall under product targeting right over here. And then new product launch, obviously, you can go down the list. There's a lot of different campaign intentions, but it's very important before you launch campaigns to actually identify what is the end goal for this specific campaign in the long run. So now let's go over exactly how we can set these campaigns up, okay? So the format we're gonna follow is one product, okay? One campaign, one ad group, okay? And no more than 3 keywords per campaign. Why no more than 3 keywords per campaign? If you have too many keywords in one campaign, you're gonna realize quickly that 1 to 2 keywords are gonna get majority of the spend and clicks. Now, why is this? Because Amazon's recognizing that you're getting the most clicks and impressions for this keyword, so it's naturally gonna place some more emphasis on this keyword. Now, you're gonna be thinking these other keywords don't perform at all for you, but you don't understand that they don't have any time and awareness to actually get enough data for it, because all the bids, all the budget is going to these 2 to 3 keywords. So you want to get those keywords and put them in their own campaign. That's why no more than 3 keywords per campaign, because that's the most optimal way for you to evenly distribute your budget and actually test out these keywords, okay? Now, the next thing is launch phase is not the time to be stingy with spend. Give each campaign enough budget initially to last a day. So how are we gonna do this? Don't overbid on majority of the keywords. We just want enough of a budget to last a day to see what time we perform the best at, okay? If it doesn't perform, then we can lower, obviously. If it performs, then we can increase, right? It's constantly a game of testing it out. But don't shoot yourself in the foot from the start, especially if you're getting a lot of sales and you run out of budget halfway through the day. You're just reducing the entire honeymoon phase for you. And it's the only time Amazon gives you maximum visibility. So the first campaign we're gonna go over how to set up is these exact match campaigns. So if you don't know what keywords we're targeting here, it is these primary keywords right over here. So I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna set these up. So the first thing we're gonna start with is exact match campaigns. So we wanna be aggressive with bids on these exact match campaigns because we know based off the relevancy and the master keyword list we made that our competitors rank well for it, because that means we want to go as fast as possible and rank as fast as possible to get our product up to page 1, okay? So let's go over exactly how we can set this up. So once we go here, first thing we have to do is actually name the campaigns, okay? We want to know, if we read all the campaigns, we know the specific purpose for it and like what the campaign is. So for example, for this product, we were doing ergonomic chair. So I'm gonna label it as ergonomic chair. Now this is an exact match campaign, right? So I'm gonna label it as exact. Now, next thing I'm gonna go into is go over here, and this is a single keyword ranking campaign. So I'm only gonna target one keyword in this one specifically. So single keyword ranking, single keyword ranking. Next thing I'm gonna go over exactly what keyword are we targeting. So for this one specifically, I'm targeting ergonomic office chair, okay? So go back here, ergonomic office chair, ergonomic office ergonomic office chair. And then I'm gonna do top of search because we're gonna top of search. Now I know exactly before I even click in this campaign what this is. The ergonomic chair product, it's exact match campaigns. search query report, and then ergonomic office chair. That's the keyword we're targeting, and top of search. Once you're here, hit Amazon and beyond, add your product, and obviously hit manual targeting. We're gonna do keyword targeting, enter a list of keywords, enter your keyword here. So ergonomic office chair, for example, ergonomic office chair. And this is only gonna be an exact match because we're literally targeting the exact match. Hit that, boom, and then you're gonna add the keyword here. Let's see if it lets me do it. So it's gonna give you a bid here right away. So add the keyword. Now it gives you a bid here. Ideally, it'll give you like a suggested bid. Since it's the wrong category for this specific product, it's not giving me anything right now. But once it gives you it, look at the exact campaigns. This is very important, okay? Because we want to rank as fast as possible for these keywords. Now, only do this if you have more than 5 reviews on your listing and your actual listing copy and everything looks good, because we don't want to waste money. This is only for the sole purpose of ranking high for these keywords. So we want to make sure our conversion rate and everything is proper, okay? That's why we're going a little bit aggressive, because we are thinking we're going to convert well for it, okay? Once that's done, go down here. So in terms of bidding strategy, go down only, okay? Because we're already going aggressive to start with. So we don't want Amazon to overspend on a keyword we're already going aggressive for, okay? So if we don't convert well for it, it's naturally going to decrease the bid over time, so we're not overspending. So very, very important. Negative keyword targeting, we don't need anything here really, to be honest. Now, bid adjustment, this is very, very important. Ideally, we want to be top of search a little bit more. I'll give a little bit of a boost to top of search because we want our product as high as possible. And for this campaign specifically, you should not be over fixated on the ACOS. We just want sales. We need sales for this product. If we have a 90% ACOS, but we're getting 500 sales a day for this product, that is doing its job, because if we track our organic ranking, it should naturally be going up, especially for a keyword with such high search volume. Like I said, these keywords have high search volume that we're targeting. We want our product up organically as high as possible. So very, very important. Top search 10%. Go down here. So in terms of that stuff here, we can literally just copy and paste here. This ad group name over here. So I'm gonna go here, copy, go back down here, put campaign name here. Now portfolio, obviously we want to create a new portfolio for this product, only for this product and all the campaigns for it, okay? Start date today. Daily budget, this is very, very important. Only spend what you're comfortable with. In that first month, I recommend having at least 2,000 or 3,000 for that PPC budget for that month, okay? Because we want to at least get enough data for what we convert well for. Obviously, if you're a bigger brand, you probably have a bigger budget, but we at least want enough data to at least test it out. I would start out comfortably around $35 to $40, okay? For these campaigns, because we want to specifically rank for these campaigns. So I want the budget up, pretty higher compared to the other ones that I'll show you later on in this video. I think 35 is a good daily budget. Now, after the first day, if it running out half through the day and you're converting well, obviously increase your budget. If you're not converting well, decrease it a little bit. It's an entire game of testing it out, and you'll never really know until you start it out. But start out with at least some sort of good enough budget to actually test that out. Once that's done, everything seems good. Launch campaign. So that was a single keyword exact ranking campaign. Now, a few things for these campaigns. Like I said, when I went back here, there's a thing called CPR. So CPR is the number of sales needed within an 8-day period to start ranking on the top half of page 1. So for example, ergonomic office chair, you need about 122 sales on this keyword in an 8-day period to maintain the top half of page 1 ranking. And ideally, if these are our main keywords, we want to aim for this eventually down the road, because that means we're ranked really high for this keyword with tons of search volume. Obviously, the more search volume, it's going to need more sales, right? If you go down here, there's less sales naturally. But you really want to figure out and aim for these keywords. Now, based off of the data and conversion rate, that's what you want to aim for. So if a keyword you convert well for, then ideally your end goal should be a CPR of what it is to get as high as possible for these keywords. Now, next one I'm gonna go over is the secondary keywords. So these are still gonna be exact match campaigns, but we're gonna put more keywords into one campaign. It's not gonna be a single match. It's gonna be 3 keywords per campaign. So same sort of thing. I'll show you this exactly how we're gonna do it. So for this set, I'm naming it the actual product, ergonomic chair, exact match, keyword set 1. So this is the set of 3 keywords, okay? Same thing here, put your product in, manual targeting, keyword targeting, enter list. So we want to enter all 3 of the keywords. So 3 keywords. So ideally these 3 are the ones over here that I'm trying to focus on. I'm gonna copy those. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna paste those. Now I'm gonna have it here. I'm gonna set these as exact matches for now because these are still somewhat relevant for us. I'm gonna add the keywords. For the bids here, I do not want to go aggressive at all. I want you to go a little bit below the suggested bid. So 10% below the suggested bid, because we don't know if we're going to convert well for these keywords. compared to the exact match where we have a high relevancy, we have no idea. So for this, I really want to test it out and see what the data is giving to us. Okay, same thing here. Campaign strategy down only. And then I think that's everything. Top search, no top search over here because we don't know what the conversion rate is. Leave that out. Bid budget $35 again and add it to the portfolio. Next, let's go into how we can set up the broad match campaigns. Okay, so go here, discovery keywords. Here are the discovery keywords here. Honestly, I'm gonna use all 4 keywords in one campaign just for this example. So go up here. So it's gonna be broad, obviously, and same thing, keyword set 1. Broad, keyword set 1. Go here, add the product here, and then manual targeting, keyword targeting, enter the keyword. So we're gonna hit broad for all of it. So I'm gonna just delete these old ones here, broad, and then I have all of the keywords here. I'm gonna go back here. We go here, see all the keywords I'm targeting broad. Get them, go back here, enter keyword lists, and these are all our testing campaigns. We just want to test out these keywords. Here, the bid, I suggest 20% below here, okay? 20% below because this is gonna give us so many different keyword and products that we don't know any data, so we really want to test it out. I will go below. If we're not getting enough clicks and impressions, then I would slowly increase it, okay? But we don't want to be aggressive on these at all in the beginning, okay? Down only, no placement at all. Campaign, put it the same name again. And then the budget for this, I would set the budget at $25, okay? We're just trying to test it out. So ideally, for the campaign budget setup, this is all based off of what your actual budget is, but it should be primary keywords should have the most. Secondary keywords should be 20 to 25% less than that. And then discovery keywords should be like 40% below your primary keywords. So next thing we're going to go over is how to set up the auto campaign. So another form of discovery campaign, which is very, very important. So there's 2 structures we're going to follow here. On auto campaigns, there's 4 different ways you can run: a close match, a loose match, a substitute, and a complement. Close match, you're going to find the most keywords relevant for your product, so sort of loosely in the same terms. Loose match is sort of like a broad match campaign, sort of broad in the sense. Substitutes is pretty much a competitor ASIN, so our competitor products that Amazon finds by themselves and starts running our ads on. Complement is going to be products that are very similar to us that can be complemented. So if I have an ergonomic chair, maybe it finds a table for ergonomic chairs specifically, like it's only for ergonomic chairs, something that complements it. So quick rules about this campaign: we want to block irrelevant keywords. So I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. Smart competitive blocking. We're going to start with lower bids, and the budget is going to be very similar to the broad match campaigns, around $25, $30 a day. So we're setting up 2 campaigns. So the product name itself, ergonomic chair. So first one is going to be close and loose. Close and loose. And then it's going to be auto campaign. So just a quick way for you to just figure out what the product is, okay? Pretty simple there. Add the product here. Go here. We're going to go automatic targeting. And we're going to set bids by targeting group. So now we have all these groups here as I went over with you already. So for this campaign, we're only going to do close and loose match. Suggested bid, we're going to do 10% below what Amazon is suggesting because we're just trying to discover new keywords, okay? So for every campaign, we want the bid to be low, except the exact match campaigns, which we want to be a little bit aggressive top of search, okay? Set that like this. Now, negative keyword targeting. If we have a lot of keywords that we know out the gate, like brand terms or anything that we do not want to run campaigns for, put it right here. Also, if you have a lot of search volume coming for your brand as a whole, put that as a negative here because we don't want our auto campaigns inflated, okay? For example, if you have a lot of people searching for your brand, set those keywords up in their own exact match campaigns. Because if we have an auto campaign, we might be thinking we convert so high, it's doing so well, but it's just targeting our own brand. So we don't have any new data to build off. We want these campaigns to give us a lot of discovery options, okay? So add any negatives here. Product targeting, we don't need that. Down only, obviously no placements at all. Daily budget, $25. Again, like I said, rename the campaign and good to go. So we're gonna do the same exact thing for a substitute and complement. So sub and complement. So they put it like that. Same exact thing, go down here, close these 2. Now we're trying to, these are only product targeting. It's only gonna give us products that we converted well for or we did not convert well for. So we know this campaign is specifically for product targeting. So this is our own campaign structure. Now, if we go into the sheet I have here, and I went over the intentions, these are specifically competitor conquesting campaigns, okay? We know exactly what these campaigns purpose is for. So I can literally go back here, and if you follow this methodology, I can put competitor conquesting. Boom. I know exactly what this campaign is set up for, okay? Same thing, set that budget up and launch the campaign. So next one we're gonna do is a product targeting ASIN targeting campaign. So if you know before you launch that there's specific competitors that you're gonna convert well for, like your product is better than them, they have weak ratings, then we wanna target them out the gate because this really helps increase our ranking and overall bestseller rank on Amazon. So label it something like this, enter your ASIN in here. What we're gonna go here is hit manual targeting and we're gonna hit product targeting. Choose specific products, okay? Now, there's a few things you can go here. If you don't know exactly what you want to do, you can try searching for categories on Amazon and they'll help you do it. But if you already know exactly what the product is, hit here and hit the actual ASIN here, okay, that we want to start running ads for. Enter those ASINs in. Like I said, 3 to 5 ASINs per campaign. Start running these campaigns on it. Now, when you go down here, down only, once again, no bid adjustments, there's no point here. We just want to test it out. So what you want to do, if you want to go to product pages, since this is where you're going to convert the most for, right? If you have a customer that clicks on a listing of a competitor, we want our ad showing up a little bit below that, especially if it converts well for. So if you know that performs well, we're going to give this a little bit of a boost, like a 10% boost for product pages, okay? Because we convert well for it. Same thing, set up campaign. This campaign, I would give $20. I would give this the least out of the other 3, but still a good enough budget to test it out. Now the last campaign I'm gonna go over how to set up is category targeting campaign. So we're trying to refine by price and star ratings, okay? So let's go over exactly how we can set this up. So name it something like product category targeting, add the product in, manual targeting, product targeting, and then here when you go to product targeting, instead of individual products, we're going category, okay? Now once we're in category, we wanna hit search. Now it's gonna give you all the categories. Obviously for your product, it's already gonna show what category we're in. So for example, we were selling office products, right? That's like what our product mostly is, office furniture and lighting, okay? So for example, go here, we can hit add, but what we're gonna do is hit refine, okay? Because this, we're trying to filter out by products that we convert well for, okay? So these are products with a poor star rating and have a higher price point. So for example, if we know specifically it's a brand that we convert well for, you can add the brand in here, but we don't know that at all. But what we can do is, let's say we're priced at $25, okay? So we're trying to find listings that are priced above us. So above $30, okay? Next thing, what we're gonna do is their star rating. We wanna look for poor listings. So ideally, they have like a 3-star, okay? So let's go to, I'm gonna go here, 3-star, okay? We wanna look for poor listings that we convert well for. So people go to the listing, but they have a poor review count and their pricing is a little bit expensive. Now the CR option, typically we should have a 5-star, 4.5 star with 10 plus reviews, right? And our price point is cheaper. So this will automatically improve the chances that they click onto our listing and buy our product, okay? So shipping all and then hit add, okay? Now it's gonna add the bid here, leave the bid as the same here or just reduce it by 10% because we just wanna test it out. Now we're gonna be targeting everything within this criteria that we actually set. Product targeting, nothing like there. Down only for all these campaigns except the exact match campaigns. Placements, I don't think you need any placements for this, and start running these campaigns. So these are all the campaigns you should ideally set up when you first launch on Amazon to maximize your results. Okay, now we have all the campaigns up and running and hopefully sales are starting to come in. But now we have to actually optimize all the data we're getting from there, okay? So the first 2 weeks is we're trying to collect data. Don't adjust too much because we need enough data. Ideally, you'll see within the first few days, the campaigns will be slow because Amazon needs time to start getting your campaigns up and running, getting data going. So it's gonna be a gradual build up. That's why I say the first 2 weeks, just let it sort of roll out, okay? So what you wanna do is pretty much every other day, if you're not generating enough clicks or sales, like a campaign is not getting enough, just increase the bids 10, 15%. If it's underperforming, decrease the bids 10 to 15%, okay? Performing well, make sure the budget lasts throughout the entire day. Do not run out of budget for anything that converts well because we need maximum sales velocity within the first month to 2 months, okay? If one campaign performs well but running out halfway, take some budget from underperforming campaigns and put it into that. You'll be surprised. When you launch campaigns, you might think one will perform really, really well and the other one won't do at all, but it'll be completely reversed, right? That campaign will be performing well. So you really want to A/B test everything, okay? So you most likely won't be getting much organic sales, but still track your TACOS versus your ACOS, okay? Know your ACOS and then see your TACOS, okay? If you don't know how to calculate your TACOS, it's your organic sales divided by your PPC spend, okay? And ideally, it should gradually go down over time because you're getting higher organic ranking for these keywords. Now, after 1 week, what we're gonna do is go into the search term report and analyze everything, okay? I'm gonna show you exactly how we can do that. Okay, so head on over to Campaign Manager. Once we're here, we wanna hit the sponsored ads report, okay? Once we're here, hit click report, query report. Now, report category, obviously we're only doing sponsored product because that's all we're running at this point. Report type, we're looking for all search terms, okay? All search terms. Set the country you're in, times unit, we want to do summary. Report period, it's probably gonna be 2 weeks, but last 30 days doesn't matter because it's gonna give you all that data and do that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit run report and then it's gonna give us an entire search term report. So here is the search term report. Pretty much it's gonna show you all of the keywords, all of the product targeting, all of the ASINs that we were running ads for within that time period. Now we're here to figure out what keywords do we negate, which ones do we stop at all, which ones do we increase bids, which ones do we put in our own campaign, so on and so forth. So just a quick way of how you can sort of figure out what keywords we can put here. So what we're gonna do is add negatives. First thing, if we have a keyword that has at least 10 clicks and above $20 in spend and has 0 sales, we want to negate that keyword, okay? So go here, you can go to spend all the way over here. You set criteria here. I'll maybe have another video or something here above that, where you set filters here, and pretty much it'll be like above $20 spend and 0 clicks. It'll show you all of the keywords. Then obviously read through the keywords. If it's not applicable to your product, go into the campaign specifically where it's set up, okay? And then you want to add it as you want to pretty much negate that keyword. So if you don't know how to negate it, I'll show you how you can do it. So you find a keyword that you don't convert well for and we want to negate it. Go to the campaign, go to the ad group, hit negative targeting, add negative keyword. It has a negative exact or even a negative phrase. If you want to get the entire phrase out of there, hit a negative phrase. That will get rid of anything similar to that product. But that's what we really want to do. Now, next thing is, what if we have keywords that we convert well for, right? So if we have keywords we convert well for, we want to raise the bids on, or we can take those and put it into exact match campaigns, okay? Now, what I want you to really understand is, if we have a keyword converting well on an auto campaign, do not go and negate it in this campaign itself, okay? You have no idea how it'll perform in an exact match campaign, because in an auto campaign, the cost per click is typically cheaper than an exact or phrase match campaign. And you have no idea if it'll convert at the same rate. So if you have a keyword that converts well in an auto campaign, leave it as it is. Just take that keyword, make a new exact match campaign for it, okay? There's no thing of keyword cannibalization. It'll show you in so many different placements and we're just overall getting more search velocity for it. So get that keyword, now go put it in a single match campaign. Like I showed you in this thing right here, a single match campaign. So I'll go all the way up here, single keyword exact ranking campaign. Get that keyword, put it in a new campaign here, put it top of search, give it enough of a budget and aggressive of a bid. So the same thing can be said for a bunch of stuff. If we see some product ASINs we convert well for, put them in their own product targeting campaign. If we see ones that we don't convert well for, go and put that as a negative in our existing ASIN campaign that we have. You know, there's so many things you can just A/B test, okay? But don't touch anything that's performing well in an auto campaign. Just start and put it in a new campaign and let both run at the same time. Always remember this, always keep auto and broad running. These perform really, really well if you know how to manage it and actually go in every week and clear out and analyze the data. If you leave it as it is, then obviously it's gonna perform pretty bad. You're gonna have a high ACOS because you're not extracting any keywords or just analyzing data and filtering it out, okay? Don't assume the performance will replicate in the new campaigns, okay? If it works, let it run, as I said. Now to finish off, how can we scale after the launch, okay? So if we get a lot of sales, we start ranking for the keywords as you track, we go from ranking to start focusing more so on profit, okay? So the focus should be on TACOS, not ACOS. Like I said, increase your budget as velocity rises, okay? Do not just run out of budget halfway through the day. If you are running out halfway through the day, decrease your bid. Don't just decrease your budget, okay? Because if you decrease your bid, maybe you get 2 to 3 hours more a day for that single keyword, and that's very, very important, okay? Now, month-to-month TACOS roadmap, it should generally look something like this. Month 1 will be like 30, 35%, 40% because we have a lack of organic sales. We're spending a lot on PPC to get our organic ranking up as high as possible, okay? Month 2 should typically see a decrease because our organic ranking should be going up from our campaigns and we should be getting a lot more organic sales. Month 3, month 4, month 5, typically it should go down over time as our campaigns are building our organic ranking on these keywords. Typically, this is what it looks like. If it's not, that means something is not working in your campaigns. Maybe your listing is wrong, your campaign structure is messed up, and it's not working well. What you also want to do is go into the search query performance report. This is very, very important. I have a video right here. Pretty much it's the ICAP funnel. It shows you exactly what part of the funnel for a single keyword we convert well for and where we can improve upon. So in this video, I'll show exactly, this is the entire report right here. It shows you all the keywords and it shows you our impressions, clicks, add to cart, and purchases, okay? So we can identify what part of the funnel we can improve. So for example, if our impressions are quite high, but our clicks are low, we know something's wrong with our product ourselves. Like the main image is not compelling to get clicked on, our reviews aren't good enough, our pricing is not competitive enough, so we know exactly to improve our click-through rate for that keyword. Also for add to cart, purchases, improve conversion rate. So it's really important once you start converting well and we have a lot of good keyword ranking, how we can improve our conversion rate on these keywords. Now to finish off on this video, none of this matters if your main image, pricing, or product itself isn't compelling to the market. We can have the best ad strategy in the world, we can set up the best PPC campaigns with the best keywords we're targeting, but if we don't convert well for it, nothing else matters. That's why product research is super important and filling a gap in the market is super important on Amazon, or else you're going to be wasting money for the long term. This is the exact system we use to make Amazon PPC auto campaigns that print sales for our clients. For example, this is for 1 month for 3 campaigns, came out to a total of 20,000 sales with the almost 3 ROAS with the super low 0.71 cost per click. Most sellers set up auto campaigns, just let them run, and then wonder why they're bleeding money. So I'm here to tell you exactly the pros and cons of auto campaigns, how to exactly set them up, and then how to optimize them further. Now, when structured properly, auto campaigns can do so many good things for you, such as keyword discovery engines. This is the most important thing that we need auto campaigns for, discovery. I'll go deeper into that. Cost efficient scaling tools. Amazon PPC is super competitive nowadays with cost per click super high, especially for auto campaigns and phrase match campaigns. So we want to identify new levers that maximize our profitability while bringing in sales at the same time. That's exactly what auto campaigns are for. It's drivers of lower tacos plus higher organic ranking if used right. Now, the secret isn't avoiding auto campaigns. It's setting them up with the right rules and systems. Because if you don't do this, then it can get really messy and it can get all out of sorts. Now, rule number 1, block your branded traffic, especially if you're getting a lot from off of Amazon. Now, I say this because we don't want to let our brand terms inflate performance. Remember, auto campaigns, the simple goal is we're trying to discover new keywords and be super profitable in it. If we're just running ads and Amazon's getting us for our own brand terms, we're not getting any new data. You'd capture those sales anyways, or we have other campaigns built in place for that. The auto's purpose is discovery of new traffic. This is the most important thing. So what we want to do is block your brand first with negative phrase. I say phrase because there can be a lot of different phrases of your actual brand name, misspelling, so on and so forth. Now, the key takeaway is stop wasting spend on what you already own. Now, if you don't have any other campaigns set up for your own brand, that's what we do here first. Start running some brand defense campaigns that are already protecting your brand equity, like bidding on your exact match keywords, running sponsored brand campaigns, sponsored brand video campaigns, product targeting campaigns. Those are what we want our brand defense campaigns to be, not the auto campaigns. The purpose is discovery. The second most important rule we want to follow is block irrelevant traffic even before we start running these campaigns. We want to eliminate waste before it starts because we don't want to waste hundreds or even thousands of dollars 2 weeks later and seeing terms that are completely irrelevant for our product that we could have cut out right from the beginning. So for example, if we're selling premium stainless steel bottles, block out plastic water bottle. We know people that are searching for plastic water bottle are looking for cheap options where our premium option probably can't afford to be, right? So if you're in the same situation and you know exactly which phrases or exactly what products we don't want to target for, use a negative phrase, okay? Especially if with a lot of variations of different keywords, use a negative phrase because if you if you do a negative exact, it can miss out a lot of different simulations of keywords and we're still gonna waste a lot of money. But the key takeaway is we're trying to protect budget by filtering garbage traffic up front. Now, vice versa, we can do the same for competitor branded traffic, but only smartly. It's only if we have campaigns already built in place for this. So let me build upon this. Be strategic with competitor terms, okay? If you know you convert well for competitor terms or the products, you should already have exact match campaigns and product targeting campaigns built in place. I might link a video here of a video I have about it. But auto campaigns, we don't need that because we already know what terms or brands we convert well for or we don't convert well for. So if you're running competitor campaigns already, just block them on auto because we don't need inflated data or to focus our efforts on this. If not, then you can let auto run. You might snag a few surprise wins. Especially if you don't know which competitors you will convert well for or which ones you should target, let them run in the auto campaign, see if it converts well. If it doesn't, then just block it out. Later on in the video, I'll show you how to do that. But the key takeaway is we're trying to block with intent, not blindly based off of data. I'll link another video here of mine of Amazon ad strategies in 2025 that sort of builds upon this while targeting sponsored brand videos and sponsored display ads for retargeting and also your competitor ASINs. Now let's get into exactly what auto campaigns actually do. What is the main purpose we're here for? Number 1 is discovery. This is the most important thing whether you're launching a new product or you're just a seller already selling for months or years. And I'll go over exactly why it's very important. We're trying to find new keywords and ASINs simultaneously and constantly every month. And I say always because there's always new products we can target. There's always new keywords that come into the market based off of search volume or trends, that if we don't run auto campaigns, we might never know that we can convert well on this. This is why it's super important for discovery. We need these new keywords and ASIN opportunities to extract and further build upon. So the whole point of auto campaign is pretty much to discover new keywords while getting profitable sales at a low cost per click compared to different campaigns, and using these keywords and deciding whether we should make their own separate campaigns targeting it. So it's a mix and match of both, which is why it's heavily underutilized and one of the best things for Amazon PPC. So the second thing, cost efficient scaling. Like if you look at it, Amazon exact match campaigns, phrase match, broad match are super expensive compared to just auto campaigns, at least like 30-40% cheaper. So some terms perform better in auto than manual also. Like you'll have terms that are in auto campaigns at a much lower cost per click, converting better than that same term in a phrase match campaign or exact match campaign at double the bid. Why is this? Nobody knows. It's just Amazon algorithm. Some terms perform well in one campaign and not well in the other. That's why it's constantly a game of optimization. Now let's go into the 4 different types of auto campaigns, the different match types, and exactly what are the pros and cons of each. So the first one is close match. So if you put a close match auto campaign, we're targeting highly relevant terms compared to our product. So Amazon shows your ad where a shopper searches terms very closely related to your product. So this is pretty much an exact match campaign or phrase match, sort of in the same sort of realm. So if we sell blue running shoes, close match may target searches like blue sneakers or running shoes, very similar. And these tend to have higher relevance and conversion rates, but are typically the closest match and the least discovery focused one. Now on the other side, we have loose match campaigns, which is broader relevance. Okay, so Amazon shows your ad for broader, less direct search terms. So pretty much broad match campaigns and product targeting campaigns just in an auto campaign. So for example, blue running shoes, loose match could show for athletic shoes as a whole or sports footwear. So this is a more discovery phase of the auto campaign. It's going to garner a lot of keywords. A lot won't convert well. A lot might convert well, but you never would have known about these keywords unless you started running these campaigns. So these drive more traffic, but often with lower conversion compared to close match. So loose match campaigns need to be constantly optimized, which I'll show you later in this video, because there's gonna be so many terms that are a little bit loose in terms of your product market fit. So you have to extract ones, negate ones, so on and so forth. But it's a really powerful tool, especially for the discovery phase. So the next one we have is substitutes. These are pretty much direct competitor ASINs. Your ad appears on competitor ASIN detail pages where Amazon thinks your product is a substitute. So pretty much a direct competitor of what your actual listing is. If you sell Nike running shoes, your ad might show up on an Adidas shoe listing. Makes sense, especially if your product is very competitive in the market, you have good pricing, unique selling proposition. Substitute is a perfect thing because Amazon will garner up so many direct competitors, and obviously it starts running the ads, and if it's a high conversion rate, we want to extract that further on. And the last one we have is compliments, which is perfect for cross-selling opportunities. Your ad appears on competitor ASIN detail pages where Amazon thinks your product is a substitute. So something that is perfectly a complement to your actual product that a customer might want to buy 2 in 1. So if you sell Nike running shoes, your ad might show up on an Adidas shoe listing. Very similar. Or if you sell a water bottle, it might show up on a hiking bag, something very similar to it that can be complemented together. So close match, loose match, complements, and substitutes. Close match and loose match are primarily the 2 ones that are going to have the most discovery phase, while complements and substitutes are going to give you those product ASINs that we can target further in their own campaigns. So let's get into how we can actually start running these campaigns. So there's 2 campaigns which we're going to set up. First one is going to be a close and loose match together. Second one is going to be a substitute and complements together. And I'll show you exactly why we do this. So we set it up this way for our clients because this segmentation makes optimization 10 times easier, especially when analyzing the search term report. So close and loose match are going to give you so many different keywords, okay? Lots of keywords. Loose is going to give you a lot more broad, close is going to be a lot more exact, but it makes it much easier to later go into the search term report and extract these keywords one by one. If we put all 4 together, all 4 ad types, Amazon will spread the data out. And when you extract the data, it'll be all over the place because you're going to have product ASINs in there. You can have broad match keywords, loose match keywords, close keywords. Everything's going to be all out of mix. So pretty much we want 2 separate campaigns, one's for product targeting and one's for keyword targeting. So when we go into the actual search term report, we can extract one by one in a much easier process. Okay, so let's actually set up these campaigns now. So in terms of your ad group name, so pretty much first start off with your ASIN name. That's what we do, ASIN. Whatever your ASIN name is. Then, for example, close and loose match campaign. Pretty simple. Discovery. Oops, I can't spell. Discovery. Keep it pretty simple like that. ASIN, close and loose match, discovery. Okay. Now, when we go here, leave this as Amazon beyond, unless you're Amazon business, which you probably aren't. So leave that as is. Now, in terms of your products, 1 product only. Okay. And I say 1 product only because if you put a lot of products together in the same campaign, The budget's gonna get spread out. There's gonna be so many different keywords. Like when you extract in the search term report, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. One product, one ad group, one campaign type. That is the golden rule, okay? So pretty much enter your list of your ASIN, put your ASIN here, search it here, and we're gonna go to the next step. So for targeting, we're gonna hit automatic targeting, obviously. Now, when we go here, they're gonna give you two options. You can either set a default bid or set bids by targeting group, okay? We wanna hit set bids by targeting group. Now, this is where all four of these match types show up. Close match, loose match, substitutes, complements. Now, obviously for this campaign, it's close and loose match, so it just hit off on substitute and complements. Now, Amazon will give you a bid. Already here, 75 cents. What I wanna do is, I wanna lower it at least by 10, 15%. I'm gonna put 0.60. Now, I say this because we don't know exactly what we're gonna convert well for or how much Amazon's gonna actually bid on these prices. And they can say one number, but maybe at a 0.6 bid, we might convert as high as well compared to 0.75. But we would have never known unless we actually start out with it. So for example, we start at 0.6 and it's not converting for whatever reason. Increase it to 0.65, increase it to 0.7, 0.75 after a day or two, and analyze the data if it's actually converting well, if you're actually getting traffic or not, okay? But if you don't do this, you would never know. You could have got the same sales or clicks at 15 cents lower. So this is very important that you wanna do out the gate. Now, the next thing is negative keyword targeting. Like I said, if you have the exact, your own brand names, your competitor ASINs that you know exactly you don't want to target, or specific phrases that are completely irrelevant for you, put them in here as a negative phrase. I really emphasize negative phrase because we don't want to, so many different phrases that we cut out that we start running ads for. So negative phrase, whatever keyword targeting you want to do here, but make sure you only do this for terms you know exactly you will not convert for at all based off actual market research. So in terms of negative product targeting, I wouldn't worry too much about this because you have no actual idea whether you convert well for product or not. Amazon will just give you a whole list. So I would leave this for now, unless you know a listing that exactly there's no way for you to ever convert well on, but I would leave it out for now. Now, when we go to campaign bidding strategy, this is where we want to go down only, okay? Now, Amazon's saying to use dynamic bids up and down, but obviously Amazon just wants you to spend more money. If it's up and down, Amazon can go up and it can go down depending on what they want. I recommend down only because we want to be as cost efficient in auto campaign. It's not an exact match campaigns. We're really trying to convert well on these keywords. We're trying to discover new keywords, okay? So down only allows us to stay fixed at this rate. And if we're overspending, it'll just automatically lower it. And if we're not getting any sales, we'll just increase the bid, like I said, by 10 cents, 15 cents. And then if it performs bad, it'll come down naturally. And we want to be in control, so make sure you hit dynamic bids down only. In terms of bid adjustments, we don't want to do anything here because we have no actual data. For exact match campaigns, obviously you try to go more top of search, so on and so forth, but we know nothing so far, so leave this all out. Don't touch anything here. Last thing, campaign name, do the exact same thing. So product name, close and loose match, discovery, put it in a portfolio. Now, daily budget, okay? I really recommend starting out with a daily budget at least over $30. And most likely or not, you will not spend this much money out the gate because we're starting out at a lower bid anyways. We're just trying to see if we convert well for these keywords or we actually get some clicks. So start out with at least some sort of a budget. You probably spend $10 the first day, okay? Then 15, depending on how the actual clicks are going, you increase your bid, so on and so forth. But we want enough data over a 2-week period to really figure out exactly what are some keyword opportunities that we can further build upon. Then obviously hit launch campaign and then do the exact same thing for the substitutes and complements. The exact same strategy I gave you here. So instead of close and loose match here, we're going to hit substitutes and complements. Same sort of bid strategy, dynamic bids down only, any negatives, and start those campaigns. Now the real magic happens here in the optimization stage for auto campaigns. So analyze every 1 to 2 weeks, ideally I say 2 weeks, all the terms and ASINs in there. So pull your search term report and figure out and extract all the keyword data. What are some converted keywords that we can keep in auto, maybe clone into an exact or phrase? What are we wasting spend on? What are we spending more than $10, $15, $20 and we did not convert a single sale? Whether this is a keyword or this is a product ASIN. Once we identify that, we negate that in those campaigns because we don't want to waste more money. Auto campaigns is a constant game of optimization. What are some winning ASINs? What are some ASINs we convert well for based off the data in the auto campaigns? Because then we know we can put these in their own product targeting campaigns. That is very important. Now we can further build upon these ASINs and getting more sales because of them will naturally build our bestseller rank on Amazon. Losing ASINs, block out, like I said. But the key takeaway is auto is literally a keyword mining machine. It's like it's a machine that you're oiling or you're cleaning up every 2 weeks because it's not going to run properly if we don't do that. So every 2 weeks you go and you extract what keywords can I build upon. Okay, let's push it up. What can we cut out? Okay, let's throw it to waste. And every 2 weeks you're going to identify new opportunities and so many new keywords are going to be there for ripe for the taking at a low cost per click, which is the most important thing. Another example we can do is we can build branch campaigns. So if a keyword branch is winning, scale it. So for example, we're going into search term report and water bottle for gym is crushing it. This is a term we're absolutely crushing it in a close and loose match. Now we can create a dedicated campaign for this. So expand the root keyword, whether it's water bottle for gym, you can go gym water bottle. That's another term. Exact phrase or broad match. Just start running out different variation campaigns of this one keyword because we are converting well for it. So start an exact match campaign for a water bottle for gym, a phrase match campaign for water bottle for gym, a broad match for water bottle for gym because we know we convert well for this now. Key takeaways: feed the winners into manual campaigns for scale, but I'm gonna go over one thing that you do not want to do in terms of this also. So the number one golden rule for auto campaigns: do not negate a good keyword performing well in an auto campaign and convert it into an exact match. So if we find keywords or products that convert well, it's fine to totally go make new campaigns targeting this specifically, but do not negate this in that current existing auto campaign. People have this fear of cannibalization. If I have two keywords that I'm targeting different campaigns or two products I'm targeting two campaigns, I'm wasting 2 times the spend. This is not how it works. Amazon does not work by this. In an auto campaign, the keyword can show up anywhere, okay? And you have no idea how it'll perform in a new campaign. Amazon's data is crazy. If you have a keyword that performs well in an auto campaign, you run in a different exact match campaigns, that might not perform as well in the auto campaign due to a variety of reasons. Now imagine the auto campaign is much cheaper too. The cost per click is 65 cents, for example, but the same keyword in a new exact match campaign is $1. And maybe at $1, it performs even worse than what's actually in this new campaign. So by negating it, you ruin all the process you built into Amazon's algorithm. It's always a game of A/B testing and optimization for PPC. You never know what's going to perform well. So never negate a good keyword in a campaign. So if you don't know how to make a search term report, go to Amazon search term report, obviously in Seller Central, sponsor product. We're going to go here. We're going to hit search term. We're going to identify all the search terms. And we want to do summary. So if you're looking for the last 2 weeks, for example, you started running the campaign 2 weeks ago, start running for 2 weeks. Once you go into the actual search term report, it'll show you each specific campaign, filter it out so that's only for that campaign, and it's going to show all the search terms and keywords. I'll make a video about this later on. Maybe I'll link it down below. And then you can sort of filter out exactly what keywords we can focus on and what keywords we can negate. So to finish off, when you follow the system, auto campaigns stop being a money pit and start becoming your keyword discovery plus sales engine, which is super important for Amazon in 2025 as PPC has gotten super competitive. Block what doesn't matter, let Amazon test the rest, double down on your winners. This is the exact process we use with our clients to scale PPC while keeping tacos super healthy. For example, we took this brand to only spending $24,000 and achieving $132,000 in PPC sales, all with the ACOS of 18% and 0.21 cost per click because we relied super heavily on auto campaigns. So here's the further data, $536,000 out of 4% tacos. So in this video, I'm going to break down 2 easy catch-all campaigns that you can set up that will maximize profit for you and run easily in the background without risking your budget. So we all know Amazon is super competitive nowadays. Everyone is paying money on PPC to show their products, which typically is the end game, right? And typically when we're spending a lot of money, we probably are not getting as much margin as we want. And we always want to figure out some small ways that we can even get at least some money back into our pockets. And the 2 campaigns I'm going to show you today can give you at least some margin back, and they're not going to be super headaches to handle as a whole. So what we're going to be setting up is called catch-all campaigns, and pretty much it's going to advertise for all of your products at really low budgets to maximize the return for it, so you're not overbidding on keywords. So let's set this up, okay? We're going to, you can name it auto catch-all campaign, for example. Amazon Beyond. What we're going to do here is the first campaign, we're going to add all of our products, add every single one of our products that we have that's available on Amazon right now, obviously with inventory in stock. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're going to hit automatic targeting. Okay. Once we're here, we want to set bids by targeting groups. Okay. This is very important. We don't want Amazon to spending money all the time. Now, if you have a look here, they give us a bid and a suggested bid. We want to go as low as possible because we don't want these campaigns to be like total revenue drivers. We just want them to convert sales at a really low cost per click and conversion rate. So we at least get some solid money back. For example, you spend $50 on ads and this campaign ends up bringing you $1,000 in sales within like 5 months, 4 months. That's still money going into your pocket and you don't have to do much to even manage it. So over here, they're always going to give you a suggested bid. Don't listen to whatever they say. Whatever bid is here, I typically even want to go even less than this, typically like 25 to 30% less than this, okay? So let's go as low as possible. For this example, I would go like 0.5. Let's go 0.5, and then I'll go to the next one, 0.5 also, and I'll go even for all these campaigns, I'll literally go 0.5. Now, if you see that when you set these campaigns up, they're not giving any clicks at all for like a week, 2 weeks, then you can slowly, incrementally improve it, right? But remember, the only point of this is to get good margin and good sales. So we would rather start low than start high. Start low. If it's not getting as many visibility, increase it by like 0.5 cents, right? 0.10 cents, whatever it is, just to see if it starts performing well. We're not going to negate anything. No negative keyword targeting, no negative product targeting. When we go here, we're only going to do down only. So for example, if we are spending and it's not converting as well, Amazon negate the bid and go down as possible. Remember, we're only trying to maximize profitability and sales without managing too much of our ad budget. This should be a very, very small amount of your ad budget, maybe like even less than 5%. It's just to get a little bit more sales out the door. Bid adjustments, we're not going to do no bid adjustments here, literally nothing. We don't want to touch this. And then name the campaign. I would set up a new portfolio called Catch-All because we're going to set up a new campaign. So it's easy for you to actually analyze the numbers. For the budget, do whatever you're comfortable with. They're suggesting $30. Obviously, they want to spend more money. I'll start super low, $10, $15. See if it works. See how much the budget goes throughout the day. Maybe it passes it, maybe it doesn't. Analyze how well the conversion is for it. Then you can play and test that. But we want to start low for literally all of these things here. This is how you set it up and then literally launch a campaign. You don't got to do all this extra stuff here and just hit launch campaign. So the next catch-all campaign we're going to set up is a manual catch-all campaign. And this works really well for Q4 and particularly when competitors run out of stock, run out of budget, and the auctions soften unexpectedly and you can get cheap clicks. So how we're going to set this up is go to campaign manager, obviously, go here. For the products here, we're not going to hit all products at once because if we include everything in one, it's going to be very hard. There'll be a lot of cannibalization all across the catalog. A lot of keywords will cross each other. Your budget will not be adequately spent. It's very messy. So what I do is find your top 5 to 10 listings and create separate campaigns for them, okay? 5 to 10 listings, create separate campaigns. So I'm going to start with this listing right over here. I'm going to add it. Now, when you go here, we're going to hit manual targeting. Now, once we're here, obviously, we're going to do keyword targeting, okay? And what we're going to do is they give you a bunch of options here. Now, when you're here, we want to not include broad campaigns. Now, I say this because it's going to, for all of these keywords, it's going to show you so many separate search terms, high long tail keywords, and it can be very spread out the budget. We want to be as precise as possible. And a phrase and exact will let us do that without us having to manually go in and analyze it. If we hit broad, we're going to have to go back into the search term report and see exactly where the spend is going if we're spending a good amount of money on these campaigns. So we don't even want to do this. We just want to let this play in the background where we don't have to manage it all the time. And a phrase and exact will let us do that. Once we're here, all the keywords are going to be here. Just hit add all for all of the most relevant keywords. They'll ask you to choose an alternate bid for some of these. I will start super low. Let's go 0.5. We're going to add that. Now, it's going to have all of these keywords. And obviously, a lot of these are going to have their own suggested bid. And you can see Amazon is bidding crazy for some of these, which is like, what are you doing? I would literally go and set it at 0.5 for all of these, right? For example, whatever the average is in the category. Set it at 0.5. The annoying thing is, when you're setting these campaigns up, you can't do it all at once, like set it at 0.5. The easiest way to do it is just start the campaign, launch it, go into the actual campaign and set the bids for all of these at 0.5 for all of them. So it all stays that way and you don't have to go in and edit it all the time. If you want to do here, you can also add in the keyword groups that they're suggesting from brands like this, related. But whatever you add here, make sure that it's a super low bids. That's going to be the most important thing. Don't listen to anything Amazon says. Go super low, start at 0.5, analyze it after a week, 2 weeks, see if anything's converting. Some stuff will convert, some will get nothing at all, which is totally fine. We're not super focused on this. We want it to play in the background. And you can optimize every month, see what's working, what's not working. Increase the bid by 0.5, 0.10. Some might not be getting visibility. You can improve it by 0.5, 0.10. But remember, this is just a margin play for us. When you go down here, unless you know specifically like some keywords that you completely are not going to convert well for, you can add it here for sure. Why not? And then we're going to do down only again, and then no placements at all again. We're going to add it to the portfolio called the catch-all. And the budget, same thing, $15, $20, whatever you're comfortable with. Typically, it will not even spend that within a few weeks because it's getting optimized and your bids are super low. So eventually, then you want to wrap it up and see how it's going to perform. We don't want any of this, and then launch the campaign. So that is the catch-all campaign of Amazon. Super easy to set up, not really hard to manage at all. We do this for all of our clients to maximize their profitability. If you want to work with me and my team, link below and in the comments where we use our 3-phase revenue growth system to implement specifically to your brand and I show you exactly how we can help scale. Is your Amazon PPC burning cash? Give me less than 10 minutes and I'll show you exactly how you can reduce your ACOS while simultaneously boosting your ROAS, all without hurting sales. So let's get into it. Okay, the first thing we need to do before we hop into Seller Central is identify 3 metrics. And these metrics are directly what's going to be used for identifying how we're going to optimize bids or increase bids, so on and so forth. So the first thing is we need to first understand what is our break-even ACOS. So this is the point whether you're not making money or you're not losing money. So this is ideally for aggressively scaling, ranking your products, or you just launch new products. So that's the first thing. So how do you calculate that? Obviously figure out what are your cost of goods, your average ACOS, so on and so forth. So that's the first thing. Second thing you want to figure out is your average ACOS. Obviously, this is the current overall average ACOS across your campaigns. So if you don't know how to do that, go into Seller Central, obviously, and we want to sort by the last 30 days. Okay, last 30 days. And for example, this account, one of our clients, their ACOS on average is 40%. So 40% is the average that we want to take for this one. Now, the third thing, which is very important, is the target ACOS. Now, this is the ACOS goal focused on profitability and campaign efficiency. So where we're at right now and what we want to get to. Now, obviously, we want to be realistic. You want to be realistic on what your target ACOS is based off of profitability, market demand, how high your cost per click is, so on and so forth. So ideally, it should be about 10 to 15% below your average ACOS, but it really depends on what part of the cycle you're on Amazon for scaling, so on and so forth. So your target ACOS, we're going to use directly to help us manage bids and go on from there. So for this account, the average ACOS is 40%, but I know that this client is trying to aim for at least a 30% ACOS, okay? So we're going to put, for now, our target ACOS is 30%. So now the next thing we have to figure out is our coefficient. Now our coefficient is what we're going to use to manage bids and adjust it or increase it. So to get this, it's your current ACOS divided by your desired ACOS. So for example, this account, our current ACOS was about 40%. So I'll show you this real time. So we're going to do 40% and our desired ACOS was at around 30%. So 40 divided by 30%. So that gives us 1.33. Now we're going to use this number. So make sure you save your coefficient because this is how we're going to manage bids and adjust everything. Okay, so now let's go in and let's actually clean up these campaigns. So go to targeting tab, obviously. Once we're in targeting, we're going to set a few filters right out the gate. So let me remove all this right now. So it's going to show us an insane amount of targets here. So we have 25,000 targets here. We're going to choose the date range, the last 30 days, ideally. Filter by campaign active status. So we only want enabled campaigns. So hit enabled. Okay, now next thing. First thing I want to do is filter out those campaigns or targets that are not generating us profitable sales or just wasted ad spend, because I want to clear out all the data. So first thing, I'm going to hit orders. I want orders less than or equal to 0. Now it's going to give us all orders like that. Then I'll filter by how much we're actually spending. So I want to see if what keywords we're spending, ideally more than $20. Now, anything more than $20 and we have 0 clicks, I know these are terms that are not going to convert for us. So we're just wasting money. So for example, in this account, we have, this is $20, $30, $25. So I know out the gate, I got to negate all of these terms. Now, in this example, these are actually competitors' products that we're targeting. And if we have a look, we spent 31 clicks and got no orders. So I know we're not going to convert on them no matter what, because people are not compelled enough to buy our product. So if I see this, and it's above our metric of $20, $30, for example, I'm going to go into this actual campaign now here, and I'm going to pretty much negate this term here. I don't want this product here anymore. So we're going to go and we're going to hit open link in new tab. So once I'm here, I actually want to go into the ad group again, because if you're targeting an ASIN, you have to go to the actual ad group level, not the budget level. So we're going to hit this and we're going to negate this exact ASIN because it's not converting well for our product. So you want to go into here, negative targeting, add negative product targeting, and we're going to enter in exclude products, and we're going to enter in this ASIN right there, and boom. Obviously negate that. Then go to for all of your products that I showed you right there. You spent more than $20, $15, or whatever your threshold is, and you did not convert a single sale. We want to negate those right out the gate. So the next thing I want to do is filter out by clicks. Orders is one thing, but we can also use clicks simultaneously to check what are our metrics and what can we reduce. So clicks, ideally, I don't see anything that we had more than 15 to 20 clicks and we are not converting well for. So let's go for a 15, if we can, 15. I don't know why Amazon does it where you have to have a 0 here, which is super annoying. We're going to do 15 here. So if you have a look at enabled, clicks greater than 15, orders less than or equal to 0. So if you have a look here, more ASINs here that are doing nothing. So obviously I want to negate these because there's 0 orders here. Now, the next thing I want to do is I actually want to go to orders that we only have 1, because there could still be very skewed data. Maybe we just got 1 order by accident. So let's go to less than or equal to 1. Now let's do this. Now this is where you want to be adjust things based off of whether this keyword is super important for you, this product is important to you. So you can decide whether to negate it fully or just reduce the bids. So for example, for this right here, we spent $42 and we got one sale of $29. Now the ACOS is 147%. Now there's a bunch of things to consider here. We got 36 clicks and got one sale. Now since we got one sale, I don't want to fully negate it, like unless it's super necessary. If it's a term that's very important for you, you can keep it running, so on and so forth. Or if it's not, you can just cut it out flat. But how we can use the coefficient in an example like this is if our bid is $1.20, so we're not converting well for our $1.20 bid. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back into our actual coefficient. So I think the coefficient was 1.33. 1.33 was the coefficient that we came up with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 1.20. So let's go down here, get my calculator. So we're gonna 1.20 divided by 1.33. So that gives me 90 cents. What does this mean? We should reduce our bid to 90 cents. And that is because that is below where we want to focus on our new ACOS of 30%. And this is how we're going to get it. Now I'm doing it for these terms because we're not converting well from them anyway. So why should we overspend on terms or products where we're not converting well for anyways? We're going to shoot our ACOS up. We want to gradually reduce this so we can bring that ACOS down and focus more so on the budget on other products, which I'm going to show you here. So 90% is a new bid. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to just change this bid to 90 cents instead. And boom. You want to do that for all the products based off of all the thresholds we set. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to filter by ACOS. So hit filter by, hit ACOS. Now I'm looking for anything that we have above 30%. Now why do I say 30%? Because we set our threshold for our desired ACOS at 30%. So we want to see campaigns above this level to see if we can reduce the bids on these. So I'm gonna hit it here. So we have 44 campaigns or product targetings that are above that. Once I'm here, I want to sort by highest ACOS. It already is sorted by highest ACOS. And I want to see and analyze exactly what we can reduce the bid on or just close campaigns. So for example, this one's at 99%. We spent $104 and got $104. So pretty much the exact same. And the clicks were the same. So for this one, I'd have a look at our bid is at $1. Apply the same thing, the same coefficient. So our coefficient was 1.33. So I'm gonna do $1 divided by 1.33. 75 cents. So I'm gonna reduce that bid to 75 cents. And I'm gonna do this for all of our campaigns that are just not converting well. Because if we spend more or spend a current amount, it does not matter if we reduce it. Yes, our impressions might drop initially, but the whole goal is we're trying to split the budget. So because now we're gonna focus on campaigns or products that we are converting well for. So go down this entire list, apply the same thing. You have your coefficient. Figure out which campaigns, which bids you have to reduce, and this will gradually reduce your ACOS within a month. Okay, so now we're gonna do the inverse. So I'm gonna hit filter by and I'm gonna go ACOS. Now I'm gonna say less than or equal to our desired one. So our desired was 30%. Now I'm looking for campaigns and stuff. We can maximize the bids to go even higher because this indicates we have a good conversion rate, a good click-through rate on these campaigns. So we have 15 total targets here. So if I have a look here, I'm gonna sort by the ACOS by lowest to highest. So lowest to highest, do that one more time. So we have all these campaigns. Look at this one. Spend $6, got 118 sales, 5% ACOS. So from top to down, I want to actually increase our bids here because we are getting good impressions, good click-through rate, and good conversion on it. Now, I don't want to use the coefficient here because that will boost it up too high. We don't want to boost our bid up so high, especially if we're already converting well. So what I typically recommend is applying at least 10 to 15 to 20% increase in your bid. So if I'm at 1.44, I want to gradually increase it to 1.6 because we're already converting well for it. Next one, 1.5, gradually increase it to a 1.65. We want to test out the data and see exactly what's converting well. And these things are converting well. You see that our ACOS, our top of search placement is all really, really good. Look at this one. We spent $9, got 102 sales at 9% ACOS. So I know if it's at 1.79 suggested, if it's at 1.73 right now, I'm gonna go to like 1.9. And I'm gonna do this for all my campaigns because now we just inversely flipped it. We had our coefficient, we have our desired ACOS, we reduced the campaigns or we cut out all the campaigns or bids that are not converting well. So that will naturally reduce our ACOS. Now, our ROAS will increase because we set a filter for campaigns that are below our actual desired ACOS, less than 30%. Now we want to boost these. We want to just get more visibility because we're getting more conversion rate already, we're getting better click-through rate because this will naturally increase our ROAS. So this is the unique trick that I found out that can really help you guys maximize your bids, reduce your ACOS, and manage your bids throughout your entire campaigns properly. Here's how to revive your PPC campaigns within 7 days or less. So what we're going to be using is something I like to call the rescue framework, okay? Because your PPC didn't just randomly stop working. There's a bunch of reasons as to why it's not working and you stop scaling, okay? And here's what happens when you properly diagnose your ads. For this client, within 2 months, we pretty much doubled their PPC sales, all with the lower ACOS, and a ROAS increased by 49%. And this was not because their current system was just like stuck or flatline or they tried everything. No, there were bottlenecks along in the system. So in this video, I'm gonna go over a bunch of stuff that you can apply right away so that hopefully within a week, you can even improve your PPC to a new level or go back to what I was doing before. So the worst thing you can do is like panic, okay? Panic is the worst thing. You do not wanna panic. You don't wanna just launch 20 new campaigns targeting the same keywords and relaunch your budget. No. Be radical, okay? Optimize. That's the entire thing of what we're gonna go over today. So we're gonna optimize everything using this rescue framework that we use for our clients. But what is the first part of the rescue framework? R stands for review the damage. If you are underperforming, you're spending too much on ads and the performance is bad, there's a lot of damage to be understood and figure out where we can address the bottleneck. So what we like to do first is pull the last 30 days of sponsored product search term data. We want to analyze every single term we're running ads for to see how performance is stacking up, okay? We're gonna do this a bunch of ways. We're going to stack the winners, okay? So winners are going to be profitable and consistent. So every brand, you typically have an ACOS threshold that you're okay with, right? It depends on your margin, depends on the category, cost per click, whatever. Once you identify what you're okay with and what is actually performing above that, we want to identify into 3 buckets. The first one is the winners, okay? Second one is going to be maybes, some sales and borderline ACOS, okay? So these are going to be a little bit all over the place. Some will have a lot more search volume, some will have less. Some will drive more sales, some won't. So these are in the bucket where we want to optimize based off of our own eyes and the data. And the last thing is going to be the bleeders. Most important thing, high spend with little or zero sales or spending too much and it's way above our ACOS threshold. So let's go make a search term report. Pretty much go into your Amazon Campaign Manager, go to measurement and attributions, and you show this option where it's going to show a bunch of stuff. What we're going to do is go to sponsored products only, because typically you're in the stage where we're spending a lot of money on sponsored product ads. Report type, search term. We want all the terms that we are running ads for. Country, put your country in, and we want summary, okay? Report period, this depends on how much you're spending on ads. For example, if you are a big brand spending like $10,000 a week on ads, you want to optimize much more often than if you're spending $1,000 a month on PPC, right? Because it's all based off the data. If we're spending a lot more money, there's a lot more data for us to optimize and build upon. So it really depends. If you, for example, spend less than $5,000 a month on PPC, every 2 weeks you want to analyze. If you spend 10, 15, 20, 25,000, every week you want to optimize further. So it's really dependent on what you want to do. For example, let's say we spend 7,000 a month. We want to do the last 2 weeks. So from pretty much you can go to today, yesterday, week to date. You can literally go week to date if you want to do 7-day period. If you want to do 2 weeks, you can do 2 weeks. And we just want a good enough time frame to us to analyze. Once that's done, go create the report and it'll come out in an Excel file or Google Sheet, and then we can go analyze further. So the search term report should come out to something like this. I put it into a Google Sheet. Now it's color coded for a reason. So I went in and I color coded everything based off of, is it above our threshold, is it below, or is it in that middle stage? So what you want to do is sort your terms, obviously, by most sales or whatever, and set your ACOS thresholds, okay? For example, here, if you see all the purple terms here, we set an ACOS threshold of 36%. So anything above 36% we know is unprofitable for us, okay? Based off the margins and how much we're spending on ads. So that's why we color coded everything above that as purple. So this is stuff that needs to be optimized. Like this is spending too much and it's just not profitable at all. For example, this brand here, let's see how much I spent on these terms. If we go all the way up here, spent 16,000 on these unprofitable terms. Now, what you want to analyze is these are still driving a lot of our sales. So you don't want to just go and shut these down. We want to look into all of this and to see what we can optimize further. What is spending too much with too little return? What keywords are not driving enough of organic rank? Very, very important. Next thing here, we have yellow terms here. So we color coded this yellow for a variety of reasons. These are below our threshold and are in that middle range, still a little bit high ACOS, but they're performing well. So what can we do with these terms? Can we increase the bids? Can we create new campaigns for these? Can we optimize further? Because these typically, we're going to reduce the bids, reduce by 10, 20%, whatever we think is adequate. But these, we want to see if we can optimize further and increase the bid. We go down, we can go to the green terms. These are typically below our ACOS threshold. So these are sort of profitable. These are actually doing quite well for us and okay. So these ones, can we double down? Especially the ones that are bringing in good enough sales. Can we double down and try to expand, right? For example, can we expand on this campaign? Can we increase the budget? But you see how having everything color coded makes it easier to diagnose and increase the bids, reduce the bids, or negate keywords. Now we can go down here. Look at this. So we have all these red terms. So these are pretty much bringing zero sales, but they're spending money. Okay. You see how we're spending all this money here, $10, $5, and it stops at $5. Okay. Now, if you're in a position like this, you don't want to stop all these campaigns because they haven't spent enough money yet on these keywords. So you want to set a threshold. Hey, if I spend more than $20 on this keyword and I get zero sales, I'm going to negate it. If I spend more than $30 and I get no sales, I'm going to negate it. This really depends on your product and your margin. For example, if you sell a $500 product and you spend $20 and you didn't get a sale, that's not a good indicator yet that you should stop that campaign, because if you spend $10 more and you get a $500 sale, that works well in the long run. Versus if you sell a $20 product and you spend $20, $30 and you got zero sales, that's a sign you're not converting well, right? So this is something where you want to use eye and hindsight to see exactly what I can optimize further. But for these campaigns, optimize them, right? See if I can put them in new campaigns, lower the bids, increase the bids to see if we can improve our listing or whatever, okay? And same thing can be said here. We see how this is such small spend. We can't really optimize around this. So these are stuff we want to just look into and see exactly, analyze them, monitor them based off the data. And once it goes above our threshold, where it's spent $20 with no sales, okay, let's negate it. But your biggest levers are going to be the ones that are actually spending money and driving sales. Sorted by ACOS, sorted by ROAS, sorted by whatever, and then optimize from there. So like I said, R is pretty much review the damage. We have all the damage. Now we're trying to eliminate the bleeders. Like I said, aggressively remove obvious waste. So for example, in this sheet here, obvious waste is stuff that got zero sales but spent a bunch of money. So can we optimize that, negate it in a separate campaign? Okay, that's one very important thing. Negative exact search terms that have been unprofitable. Pause or slash bids or terms that exceed your click threshold. Like I said, let's say for example, you spent $25, $30 clicks on a $30 product with no sales, negate it. It's not converting well. Okay. Next thing, cut spend on ASINs that consistently show terrible ROAS or ACOS. So this is where you want to look into your campaigns. If something is driving in tons of your sales but has a high ACOS, you typically do not want to make any drastic changes, because yes, it's a high ACOS and it's not bringing enough money, but that keyword might be bringing you tons of organic traffic. So by stopping that, your organic sales will drop. So it's okay to have a high ACOS for these terms or whatever, because it's your biggest drivers. So this is where you want to look into these things and analyze your keywords, your keyword ranking, everything like that, okay? Do not pause your entire PPC, even if it's red. Optimize, reduce your bids by 10, 20%, okay? If something is spending tons of money with no sales, then you can just cut it out. But if it's bringing in sales above your ACOS threshold, lower the bid a little bit, 5%, 10%, see how it improved, okay? If you have a keyword which performs well below your ACOS threshold, improve the bid by 5%, 10%. See if you get more sales, more improvement, if your ACOS stays the same. That's how you scale campaigns, right? But this is the step where you want to do precision cuts, free up wasted ad spend, and then create a proper template to scale further. Now, the next step in the rescue framework is simplify the structure, okay? Structured campaigns are very, very important, and having portfolio set up. Too many campaigns, overlapping match types, and no separation of your actual targeting makes it so hard for you to optimize, right? That's why you should have proper structures in place. So for example, this is how we do it. Every PPC campaign we set up has a specific intention. So we know exactly what our threshold is and what's the goal of the campaign. So for example, if we have a ranking and organic boost campaign set up, we're going to name it like that. We're going to put the product name, and we know for this campaign, we are going to be aggressive. So it's typically going to have a higher ACOS, because the entire intention of it is to improve our keyword ranking and organic sales. So you will be okay with having a typical higher ACOS as long as it's driving sales. Now, another campaign, defensive brand protection. Protect branded keywords from competitors bidding on your name. Typically, we know these campaigns will have a lower ACOS and higher ROAS because people are searching for our brand. So we should have higher conversion rates. People make a mistake where they have a universal ACOS and ROAS. That is a very big mistake, because every campaign you set up has different intentions. They all have different goals and help you out your business in different timeframes. Defensive campaigns protect your products from other competitors and give you good returns. Ranking campaigns help you rank on Amazon's algorithm, go to page 1 for your keywords, but typically will be a little bit more aggressive. So once you set this stuff up, it's very important and makes it much easier to optimize, because if I know my ranking campaign has an 80% ACOS, but it's bringing in tons of sales, and my defensive campaign is not bringing me as much sales but has like a 20% ACOS, I know those campaigns are working. They are doing its job, okay? Because we don't want to mix this up. It doesn't make sense. So every campaign you set up should have an intention and structure like this, so that when you go to optimize, it's much easier to understand what the intent was. If I look into the search terms and it's from a ranking campaign and it has a high ACOS, I know that that was sort of what you expected, right? So you're not making any drastic changes. So follow a structure similar to this. So C of the rescue framework is calibrate bids and budgets. Once your structure is clean, reprice every click. So look into your bids, look into top of search, see how it's performing, okay? Like I said, if you see campaigns that are performing well, increase it by 10, 15%, 5, 10%, whatever you're okay with. If you see it's not performing well, reduce it by 5 to 10%. See how it's working. Cut losers aggressively. If you look at a keyword and it's spending tons of money and you're not even converting anything close, cut it, because it's very hard for you to improve it. Like, you can only improve your listing so much, right? You're not going to tank your price. How much are you going to improve that? Look into other keywords. This is very, very important. Another thing you want to do is reallocate budget from random or auto campaigns, broad campaigns, into proven exact keywords that convert. So what you want to do is, if you have an auto campaign or broad campaign and you identified some keywords that performed well, launch those in a new exact campaign with its own budget, but don't negate those keywords in that existing campaign. Data from one campaign to the other does not transfer over. Amazon's algorithm picks it up how it is, right? So you don't want to stop stuff that is already working well. Just try to double down on it. Try to make it a new campaign. Try to increase the bids. Try to go a little more aggressive, but don't stop what is already working. So a very important thing is make sure your top 5 to 10 keywords never run out of budget, because these are your ranking engines. You already know what the main keywords are for your campaigns and your product, and you want to make sure these are going to be the ones that are scaling for you at all times. Do not stop them, because these are what make you have more cash flow at the end of the day. So that's very, very important. Lastly, if a keyword has good impressions but poor click-through rate, optimize your listing, right? That's not a big problem. You can do the best bids, top of search, whatever, but if people aren't clicking, that's something we need to optimize further. And that's where we get into the next step, which is you upgrade the listing. Most PPC collapses are not advertising problems, they're conversion problems. We can have the best PPC advertising, we can show up everywhere, but if we're not converting, nothing matters. We're gonna have to spend more on advertising and we're gonna be poor, pretty much, right? So what you wanna do is audit your main image, compare it against your competitors. Look at your listing on Amazon, look at competitors and see exactly how you stack up against them. Very, very important. Price competitiveness. How are you stacking up in terms of pricing? Are we competitive enough? Do we have enough discounts? Do we have enough reviews? Everything. This is all very, very important, because we can drive the best traffic, but if we aren't converting, if we can't improve our conversion rate by 2 to 3%, nothing really matters, because that's what matters at the end of the day, winning the click or the conversions. And the less clicks or conversions you get, the cost per click is going to feel higher than they really are, because you aren't converting. So if you identify a bottleneck where you're bringing in tons of traffic, but the conversion rate is super low compared to the competitors, really do a bottleneck analysis, look into your listing. Is it optimized for Rufus? Is it optimized with all the main images? Do you have a good video? Everything. Address quality issues, reviews, because this is going to be the number one driver for your PPC campaigns to actually even perform well. A quick analogy, fix the listing before you scale anything. Your PPC can't rescue a leaky bucket. And the last thing you want to do is expand the winners. So typically at this stage, your waste is cut, you have a clean structure, you know which terms are working well. At this point, take your top 10 to 20 converting search terms, put them in a single keyword exact campaigns or tightly grouped ad sets so they have enough of a budget. Never put more than 5 keywords into one campaign, because then you don't know how much is going to one, you don't know how much is going to the other. Amazon spends where it wants to spend, okay? What you want to do is give everything each budget and gently raise bids on keywords showing strong conversions, okay? Very, very important. Once you know your money keywords, double down on those money keywords. Never lose your ranking. Always track your keyword ranking. Have some sort of sheet, put it into Helium 10, whatever. Make sure you stay on top of those keyword rankings, because that is what gives you the authority and makes you stand out in the long run. So by the end of the 7-day summary, you should have a structure to help you scale your PPC campaigns further. We've helped tons of brands crush it with scaling campaigns. This campaign spent $5,000 and got $455,000. This is a sponsored display campaign. We can look at other results here. But at this point, you will know the bottlenecks of your campaigns and your listings and actually build a structure to scale in the long run. This is the same exact process we use to double PPC sales for a $1 billion company. reduce ACOS by 25% in 24 hours for another brand, and scale Crazy Girls from 200K to 720K a month. So follow this framework. I call it the rescue framework. It isn't magic. It's just discipline, triage, and respecting how Amazon ads plus ranking engines actually work. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 most common PPC mistakes that destroy your profit margins, and I'm going to go over the proven strategies that can fix it. So the first massive mistake that sellers make is they're stuffing too many keywords in one campaign. So I've seen sellers stuff like 20 to 50 to 60 keywords in one campaign and ad group. Now, why is this bad? What you have to understand is that Amazon does not evenly distribute budget, okay? So let's say, example, we have 10 keywords in one campaign, and you're trying to figure out exactly why are some keywords not getting sales, impressions, or clicks, while others are getting a lot more. Well, that's because Amazon is distributing the budget in a way that maximizes spend. Amazon will always maximize your spend, okay? So if you put 10 keywords in one campaign and one has high search volume and the other has small, they're going to maximize that keyword because they want you to spend more money, okay? And the worst thing is you'll assume that certain keywords don't perform when really they've never had a chance to perform at all. So you can imagine if you have 20 to 50 keywords in one campaign, and maybe 50% of the actual spend is going to 3 keywords because they have such high search volume and your bid is probably high for it. So you're going to get a lot of clicks and impressions. Now you're going to assume all the other keywords just don't apply to your product and that they're a waste of time and they're just not efficient at all. And you wonder, why am I not scaling? It's never had a chance to even test it out. You've never had a testing phase for these other keywords. So this is why you heavily should never ever do this. Now that's going to apply to all keywords: exact match, broad match, phrase match, and even ASIN targeting. Maybe you target ASINs and you have 10 ASINs in one campaign and you're wondering why is it so unevenly distributed. Well, you're converting high on these certain ASINs because Amazon's recognizing your bids higher and the impressions are generally higher. And you think the other ASINs you're not going to convert well for, you just don't convert well at, but maybe you convert at an even better rate, but you don't have enough data or you're not running enough PPC to that certain ASIN to even garner results. So what is the best practice? Limit 3 to 5 high intent keywords per campaign or ASINs per campaign. 3 to 5 is the ideal range because you can adequately manage this. And when you create search term reports in the future, you can identify exactly which terms come from that. And it's much easier to just efficiently scale the bids and just manage as a whole. 3 to 5 keywords per campaign, you know you can maximize your budget. So for example, if you have a $100 daily budget for that campaign, you know at least $20 can go to each keyword. And even if some keywords are getting $40, some are getting $30, you can go back and you can easily change it and so that it's all even and you can analyze the data. But if you have 20 to 30 keywords, you have no idea where the spend is really going and it's going to be a total mess and you're never going to figure out how you can even scale. Here's a general tip you can follow. Create separate campaigns for each major keyword theme. So example, let's say we have yoga mats. We can create broad match campaigns for 5 keywords around that. We can create another campaign with 5 keywords for yoga match related, an exact match campaign, so on and so forth. Because then we can adequately match and figure out where the spend is going. These are very similar keywords and the actual budget is being distributed in a way that that each keyword has enough data for you to actually make decisions. Pretty much for yoga mats, don't put yoga mat, gym mat, Pilates mat, exercise mat all in one. Break them out for proper budget allocation. These keywords might, be very similar, but they are like different in some sort of ways because there's certain long tail keywords and others that are branched off from these keywords can be a little bit different. So if you put it all together and the budget is not evenly distributed, you don't know which of these terms can actually garner more terms in the future for you to build off. So this is very important that you segment everything off of it. Now, the second mistake people make is grouping different keyword intents together. I'm going to explain what this means. So this means mixing awareness, competitor, branded keywords in one campaign. Now let's go over exactly what this is. So if you don't know what I mean, this is on my website actually. Each keyword in each campaign should have a specific intent, whether it's awareness, consideration, and purchase. So look at this funnel over here. We have top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, okay? From top to bottom, you're going to have the high search volume. When you go down, it's going to have the lower search volume because now people are actually trying to buy your product. So what stage of the campaign are you really focused on? Is it awareness? Is it keyword ranking? Is it profitability? Is it brand awareness? If you set up campaigns and you have no intent for what the campaign actually is, you're never going to know how to efficiently scale. Because for example, you might have one campaign that you should generally have be okay with the higher ACOS if it's, example, a keyword ranking campaign. So we have all the keywords in this campaign and the goal is to drive our organic ranking up. So obviously we're going to be a little bit more aggressive to improve our keyword ranking versus if we have another campaign with 5 branded search terms. So these are our brand terms. Ideally, we don't want this to be such a high ACOS. It should be much more profitable because we have people actually searching for our brand. So these are different intent. One is profitability, one is brand awareness and growth. But if you group all this together, you'll never know like exactly what you're trying to focus on for your brand, whether it's efficiency, scaling, growth, profitability, and it's not going to be efficient for you as a whole. So for example, awareness. Awareness is going to fall under broad match campaigns and auto match campaigns because we're trying to find all sort of keywords related to our product that we can, further build upon. So like different search terms, so on and so forth, different ASINs, so on and so forth. So for these campaigns, this is an awareness campaign for broad terms and like ASIN targeting. Consideration is going to be more so like phrase match campaigns and sponsored display campaigns, sponsored brand campaigns, where we sort of garnered and who we're approaching and we know exactly what they're searching for. So this is the middle of the funnel. Purchase is going to be very specific to our product. So exact match campaigns, we know exactly what keywords we should target for our product and what customers are searching for, and our own branded terms. We know people are searching for our brand on Amazon, so the bottom of the funnel is going to be the purchase. They already want to buy our product. So each campaign you create should have a system like this. So what are the pitfalls of not grouping different keyword intents together? Pretty much, like I said, bid optimization becomes messy. Cost per clicks vary widely by intent, as I explained. Second thing is hard to extract terms, apply negatives, or track profitability because we have all these different terms together now who have different intent and different actual purposes for our brand. So we don't know how to efficiently do this. Last thing, obviously, reporting is unclear. You can't tell which intent is profitable, which intent is for actually scaling, if that's working or not, so on and so forth. So some best practices, segment by intent. Awareness is going to be generic terms. Competitor targeting is other brands we want to target. Branded defense is your own brand search terms. And the last one is profit campaigns, which are going to be exact match campaigns and keyword ranking campaigns. Each campaign should serve one purpose: growth, awareness, or profit. So some tips on how you can name this for nomenclature: pretty much brand, exact, profit, competitor, broad, discovery, or you can even start with exact match campaigns, the actual ASIN, and then what's the intent: discovery campaign, profitability campaign, brand defense campaign. Make it easy for you to actually analyze and extract data. So tip number 3, and a mistake I see so often, is running out of daily budget. Okay, this is a very big mistake. You never want to run out of daily budget. For example, why do we not want to do this? Why is it bad? You miss peak buying hours, afternoon, evening. For example, let's say you set the budget for whatever it is, and you run out afternoon, okay? And then you have a whole 4 or 5 hours where you're not getting any visibility from PPC. Now, you might have gotten good sales already during that time, but now your competitors have way more chance to take those buyers during those prime hours. So your competitors scoop up traffic, boosting their organic ranking. So you're pretty much missing out on half the day while your competitors scoop in just by limiting their budget. Even one cap day disrupts your ranking momentum. So you always want to make sure you never run out of budget, pretty much. Now, I'm not saying to have the budget open for the whole day because obviously that is not strategic and there can be a lot of wasted ad spend. So you want to be very strategic in this. You want to set your budgets high enough to not to cap out. And how can we do this? Don't manage your campaigns by budget, manage it by bids, because bids you can control at a much easier level than the budget. So for example, let's say we have the same budget and then we reduce the bids by 20% or 15%. Now you're spending less, but you probably have 2 to 3 hours more of your window to actually get more visibility. Okay. Now imagine this: you're spending less, you have more visibility during those hours where it might be more customers for your product, and they might actually want to buy your product more at that time than others. Some people want to buy products on Sunday and Saturday versus the weekday where they're very busy. So adjust your bids strategically. If you see a campaign is not performing well, don't stop your daily budget. Just reduce the bids by 20, 30%, 15%. Okay. Then at the end of the day, analyze further. If you see it's performing well and you're about to run out of budget, obviously increase your budget for that day or reduce your bids so that you don't run out of budget the whole day. The biggest thing is we want to extend campaign life throughout the day because we don't want our competitors to be the only product shown when we have actual buyers want to buy a product. Like at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, when there might actually be 5, 10, 15 more sales you can get. But since you're not running any PPC, you just miss out on it. So here's a quick example. A $50 budget with a $2 cost per click burns out in 5 hours. And this might be profitable or it might not be profitable, depending on you. Now, if you drop the bids to 1.5, so from 2 to 1.5, that could probably stretch your budget out for full day visibility once you test it out. So for example, here's one of our clients' actual campaign results here. And pretty much if you don't know how to do this, go to Amazon Campaign Manager and hit the budget tab. Now you can see for all these campaigns, it shows the average time in budget. So for this account, we're in budget 79% of the time. But you can see here, sometimes we're not in budget. Well, if you have a look at this, It's because the ACOS might be a little bit high for these campaigns. But if we had campaigns that performed really, really well, and we saw the average time and budget was much lower, we knew there's an issue because now we are very profitable, we're getting sales, and our ACOS is low. But let's say, for example, these campaigns, this one, our ACOS is 14%, and we are in budget 60% of the time. That means 40% of the time, we're missing out on potential sales that are super profitable for us. And our competitors will come in and swoop up those sales. So if you have something like this, where you have profitable campaigns or campaigns that are like below your ACOS levels that are really good for you, and you see that your budget's low, maximize those campaigns, okay? Whether it's increase the budget or just drop the bids down a little bit so you don't run out of budget the whole day, you really want to go in and check every 1 to 2 weeks exactly how your budget is performing. And what you never want to do is never use Amazon recommended budget because they will always want to make you spend more money. If you're gonna increase your budget, do it by 5 to 10% each time. If you're gonna increase your bids, do it by 5 to 10% each time. If you're going to reduce your bids, do it by 5 to 10% each time. If you're going to reduce your budget, 5 to 10% each time. You do not want to make such massive changes as that can really mess up everything. You want small incremental changes that will bring long-term growth. Okay, mistake number 4, ignore your branded keyword protection. This is like one of the easiest fixes, but a mistake that can absolutely kill you, okay? Not bidding on your own brand terms can be horrible. Now, why is this bad? So when you assume that, okay, people are searching for my brand on Amazon. So pretty much if they're searching for my brand, they're going to buy my product anyway. And if I run PPC on my own branded terms, that's pretty much cannibalization, right? Like if someone clicks my sponsored product now, if they're searching for my brand, I just wasted money on it when they're going to buy my product anyway. This is not how it works, okay? You have to get out of this mindset. Imagine this situation, okay? Let's say you're Nike. Let's say if Nike didn't bid on Nike Air Max or whatever, or just Nike in general. And pretty much every sponsor spot was Adidas. Adidas like bidding on every single thing. You don't think at least some of those customers who are searching for Nike would convert into actual Adidas buyers if the product they're showcasing is good enough, reviews are good enough, pricing is good enough? Customers do not care about you. Like when they go and search your product on Amazon, yes, they initially want to buy your product. But if they see different listings that have a cheaper price point, a much better value proposition, what's to say they won't buy their product over your product? This is why it's super important to have this top sponsored results for your own brand terms because you want to maximize the conversion. You do not want to lose your loyal customers, especially if you sell a supplement or something that's a repeat buy. You want someone to search for your actual product on Amazon, find a competitor's listing, and then every month go back and buy that product instead of yours that they initially wanted. Just think about that. So competitors can target your brand terms. And shoppers searching for you may switch if competitors offer a better deal. This is like the worst case scenario. You never want this to happen. So you're pretty much losing already warm buyers. So what are the best practices? Always run defensive campaigns on branded terms. Always put your products up there. Always cross-sell. Have a sponsored brand campaign. Have a sponsored display campaign. Every single thing. Do not fall under the concept of cannibalization. That's like the dumbest thing you could ever fall under. Okay? Cover exact match and variations. And so any misspellings, product names. So if you don't know, go into Helium 10. Search up your actual search term for your brand and see maybe some misspellings that people are searching for. So try to cover those also, okay? This protects your market share. It does not cannibalize sales. It just doubles your actual brand awareness and protects your brand. Okay, the last tip I want to go over, tip number 5, not analyzing search term reports, okay? Number 1 mistake is setting campaigns and forgetting them. This is why it's bad. Broad phrase and auto campaigns generate wasted spend always, okay? You always want to analyze every week, every 2 weeks to see what terms you can build upon, what terms we can negate, and like what are some profitable opportunities hiding in the data. Amazon PPC is a constant game of optimization, okay? If you want to run all exact match campaigns and you have the budget for it and you're converting well, sure, go for it. But you have to realize that there's probably a cap on that too because you're limiting yourself to two search terms when there can be a whole other set of search terms that are new into the market with high search volume that you don't have enough data for. So pretty much poor optimization equals money lost. The brands that succeed nowadays on Amazon, they do weekly optimizations, every other day optimizations. They're so on top with their PPC campaigns because they realize Amazon's a game of constant optimization. You have to really revitalize and always analyze every metric. So what's the best practice? Review search term reports every 2 weeks. And what we want to do is pretty much harvest the winners. Move those keywords or search terms that perform well that don't have their own campaigns. So move them to exact match campaigns to further build upon our sales and improve our organic ranking on those keywords. Next thing, negate losers. Block irrelevant terms. If we have terms that spend $20 and get no sales, negate it. If we have ASINs which we spent $25 and didn't get a single sale on, negate it because we're not converting on those, right? You always want to do this because you're going to waste money here while you can build money upon here. And last thing is double down. Expand ASIN targets that convert well, like I just said. Let's say we have ASINs that we perform well on. Maybe we can run a bunch more advertising on it for a bunch of more listings of ours. This is very, very important. So a quick tip, build an SOP. Every Monday, I'm going to go in and pull out every search query performance report and analyze the numbers, add winners, negate losers, optimize bids, so on and so forth. So if you don't know how to do this, go to Campaign Manager, hit Sponsored Ad Report, and you're going to take into this page where it gives you a bunch of options, okay? So for a report category, sponsored product, sponsored brand, sponsored display, I recommend doing one at a time. So if we're looking at sponsored product only do that, okay? And it gives you a bunch of options here. You can be more specific as you want. I would just stick to search term because we just want to figure out what search terms we perform well on, which ones we don't perform well at all. And we want to do a summary, and I recommend at least 30 days or 2 weeks, okay? If we have a big catalog and we spend a lot of money on PPC, I would recommend 2 weeks, okay? Let's say, for example, you spend over $30,000 a month on PPC. Every 2 weeks, go in and analyze. Now, if you spend a small amount, like $5,000, $10,000, every month, do this and have a look at it. So once you do this, Amazon will give you a whole report. You can take it to a Google Sheets or an Excel file, and pretty much it'll show you every term. And I probably have a video up with this. Maybe I'll link it above, where you can set thresholds of like ACOS metrics, ROAS metrics, what's spending, what's not getting sales, so on and so forth. So we can extract the data and negate stuff for further implementation. What you can also do is bulk operations. So let's say you have a very big catalog and you spend a lot of money on PPC. Make sure to do bulk operations because it is the most cost efficient and time efficient method. Pretty much what it does is you can create a whole bulk sheet for every campaign, every search term, every single thing you're running advertising for, and you can actually optimize it all at once. So if you want to reduce the bids all at once, go in the sheet and reduce all the bids. If you want to increase certain bids, do it. If you want to negate stuff, do it. And then once you're all done, you just go back into this actual form here and upload the file, and Amazon will automatically update all that at once. So that's everything I have for you in this video. Let me know your thoughts about Amazon PPC and the biggest mistakes you see and some mistakes that you are currently dealing with on Amazon. Let me know in the comments. I'll reply right away. If you want to work with me and my team, I'll leave a link below to my actual website and show you exactly what we do, how we can help you scale if you're a brand doing above 20K plus on Amazon, and exactly the case studies we've had with other clients. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and peace out.